Well, we were able to have a lot of fun talking about the Eagles defense yesterday. And look, that will not go away. But there is a lot to get into this morning when it comes to the Eagles offense and drama that seems to surround this team, which is why, John, I've been saying for a week and a half now, when they were still 7-2 and now that they are 8-2, they are the most confusing 8-2 number one seed that I can think of, because it's not just that their offense has been putrid recently. It's also the fact that it's kind of been putrid all season long, except for a couple of games. And there's been a lot of drama that surrounds this team, but credit to the organization, they still find ways to win, and it doesn't seem to impact them yet. Good morning, John.
Good morning to you, too. It doesn't seem to affect them yet, but it's affecting people when they are talking to people.
Sure.
Playing whisper down the lane, handling things like children, unprofessional children, whoever's doing it. This is bad. It's bad. Yeah. There's no way to spin it that it's nothing there, because there's been a lot of people who have been like, this is all media created.
Well, that's how people will spin it.
That's ridiculous, again, because you've got people in the building running to the media saying, let me tell you what's going wrong here.
Right.
And once again, I consider the behavior unacceptable in any walk of life.
So
handle things professionally, and more importantly, have your say with the person directly who you have to talk to. And if you don't, honestly, I don't respect you as a man. If you're running to other people and you haven't given the person who you have a problem with the chance to fix it first, give them a chance to fix it. And that, to me, is a real indicator that there's some problems in that locker room.
Well, yeah, and hopefully the problems are overcome to a Super Bowl like we saw last year, and not the opposite, which is what we saw in 2023. So you'll hear the latest report coming up in a few minutes. But I want to start off here with a fandom question, John, right? Because you mentioned there are people that will just say that this is media-driven, and, hey, it's your prerogative. Do whatever you want to do, but that's just not how I will look at it. That's not how John will look at it. That's not how everybody will look at it. But I want to start with the actual team first. Before we start talking about the drama that surrounds this team, because, man, every single week there's something new.
There is.
How do you choose to view this Eagles offense? So we have now watched back-to-back weeks the Eagles defense steal the show. Right, it's been the Eagles' defense talking points that have been spectacular. They hold the Packers to 7 points in Lambeau. They hold the Lions to just 9 points. And as you say numerous times, John, really six. If Nick Sirianni did not gift them 3 points on the stupid 4th and 1 deep in your own territory. But the Eagles' offense has been a glaring weakness. And this is not something that's just happened the last 2 weeks. It's been worse the last 2 weeks, but we have seen it pretty much all season long. They're one of the worst 3-and-out teams in the NFL, as you pointed out last week. It's actually a historic rate, the worst since 2014. Any team, not Eagles-related, any team in the NFL, worst 3-and-out rate since 2014. We have seen, goose eggs in quarters. Okay, that happens. We've seen goose eggs in halves.
Yes.
Or one field goal like we saw last week against the Detroit Lions. We've seen way too many times where the offense is not able to put up a 6 spot at any point in a half. Like that is problematic. And so, as we all agree, the big picture goal is getting back to another Super Bowl and hopefully repeating as Super Bowl champions. It's hard not to look at a team and say, all right, what's going to hold us back from getting there? And at this point, we all agree. It's the offense.
Yeah, it is.
Right? There's no...
Yeah, that's what's going to hold you back.
There's no debating that. Like, that is the thing that will hold back. Not like Adoree Jackson. I understand there's people that still feel a certain type of way about him or one specific player on the offensive line. No, it's the entire offense.
It's the people all together that are potentially going to hold this back on one side of the ball.
So my question, how do you choose to view that? This might be one of these shows where we actually put up a Twitter poll, which is not something that we usually do. But this is a show where I need to hear from people on this one, John, either on the text line, the phone line, 610-632-0975. YouTube, as always, we appreciate you. How do you choose to view the Eagles offense? I came up with like 3 ways that people might view it, but I'm curious if you guys can add more. One is people will just ignore it and that the defense will win, right? I mean, we saw it the last 2 weeks. The Eagles defense beat the Lions. The Eagles defense beat the Packers. And these are 2 teams that will be in the NFC playoff picture we expect. If the season ended today, the Lions aren't in it, but we're all expecting the Lions to make the playoffs. So the last 2 games, the Eagles' defense won the football game despite the Eagles' offense looking like crap. There's the I expect it to get better way of looking at it, which, hey, this time last year we were having very similar questions about the passing offense, Jalen Hurts, what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do. There were whispers coming out of the locker room.
There were.
Or Brandon Graham was just straight up going on to a radio show and talking about how there's beef between the quarterback and the wide receiver. This was also stemming off of a training camp in which the owner had to squash a beef between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. What did the owner have to do last week with A.J. Brown? A lot of the storylines are very, very similar, and yet it got better last year. So there's a way to say, well, I expect it to get better. And then there's maybe the actual way to look at it. This could potentially hold us back. Are there any other ways that you could see somebody choose to react to this Eagles offense and what they are doing?
No. And more importantly, I just look at all the bright minds that cover football talking about it yesterday, and I've tried to consume as many of them as I could. Just talking about how, first of all, something that just a couple words that I wrote down from analysis yesterday. How rudimentary the Eagles' offense looks. How at times, like when A.J. Brown, I'm glad you finally saw the video.
Yes.
Quit on a route.
It was bad.
That he absolutely, the ball falls inbounds. If he hadn't stopped running, he could have easily made a catch or created a pass interference or otherwise.
Or the corner makes a hell of a play. But you know what?
But
we'll never know.
He stopped running on it and then had no explanation afterwards. It was no answer. No answer. Because you're going to bitch and complain on social media about things, but then you're not going to give your all every minute you're out there in the field. It's unacceptable. So they've got problems, but there's no way other way to spin it in my mind. I don't think you can have a scenario very different than any one of the answers you just gave.
All right. So,
it's got to be one of those.
But what I want to know from the people is, where do the majority of you stand with this? So I see right away on our YouTube chat, shout out to our YouTube chat as always, do these two understand that every team has issues at this time? All right, so you choose to ignore it, like maybe big picture, right? That every team has issues, which we talked about.
Okay.
We've had that conversation.
Let's just put this to rest. To the YouTube chat, could you tell me the team that is good, that's competing for one of the championship contenders, that is having this crap go on in their locker room on a weekly basis? I will hang up and listen.
Well, it's not just drama.
Because the problems, that there are teams that have problems, and there are teams that have issues, and there are teams that aren't playing it out like it's the National Enquirer. There are teams that, show me the team that has its star player literally quitting on routes numerous times this season. Quitting. That are actually considered Super Bowl contenders. Show me ones that are having stuff come out of their locker room where they're ripping their quarterback. This is such a nonsense take from people.
The point. No,
but trying to make it out that every team has problems.
Hear me out. What I'm saying, she means like from the actual X's and O's.
Yeah, but every team does.
Drama.
Every team does. But the thing is, every team doesn't let their problems escalate to this point.
And it is
it's
escalating.
It's a different thing. Every team has little stuff. This offense is 25th this morning.
Yeah. And
it's 25th with some of the best talent in the NFL.
And that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to get to. Like, you can't even rely on the ground game anymore, unfortunately, because the offensive line is banged up. And because defenses are just trying to do whatever they can to stop Saquon.
25th in the NFL. Stop making it out like, every team has these problems. No, they don't. Not with this personnel. They don't.
So John's answer is clearly not that he's going to ignore it.
Oh, my gosh.
So I want to hear from you. We're going to let people have their opinion and their say on it. How do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Ignore it because the defense will win. You expect it to get better, or you think it could potentially hold them back. Text in, call in, 610-632-0975. Now, when I say the Eagles' offense, I don't just mean the production, of course. There is a report on the quarterback that we've heard before. You'll hear that next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. 6:14 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Our question for you from a football standpoint, how do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? As John points out, they are 25th in the National Football League. And it's not that
Their overall offense is 25th.
it's not like they're number 1 in rushing and number 30 in passing, which is what we saw last year, which was good enough to get you to and win a Super Bowl. The problem is you don't have a number 1 rushing offense this year. Now, you can ignore it because you think the defense is going to win them football games, which we have seen the last 2 weeks. So, logically, I think you can have that answer. You can say, I expect it to get better because right around this time last year, we were having similar conversations. So, I don't think you'd be crazy to say that. Or you believe it'll hold the Eagles back. We want to hear from you, 610-632-0975. Now, of course, there's also drama that surrounds this football team week in and week out.
Created by them.
Yes.
Created internally.
Now, I know people will definitely choose to ignore that, and I get it because you don't want to think about how this could impact the football team to the point where they can't overcome it and win, which is exactly what we saw in 2023. So, Derek Gunn does a post-game show. Is it with Parks? All right.
I think it's the Parks show.
Parks.
Yes.
Okay. It's
it's the Parks show with
Parks.
Mark Farzetta
Correct.
and Seth Joyner.
And so they host a post-game show weekly on it's for Bet Parks. And they started talking about the quarterback. And this was Derek Gunn's latest whispers that he's been hearing coming out of the locker room.
I've been telling you, there's a lot of people in that organization that are frustrated with the quarterback situation right now. But the quarterback understands he has them over a barrel. This is almost Carson Wentz part 2. They're not going to eat this kind of money yet. There's no way they're going to eat this kind of money. Look at the cap hit they took when they got rid of Carson. And look, it took them a couple of years to get back on solid ground again, footing, because they were handcuffed financially because of what they owed, the cap hit they took with Carson Wentz. You got the same scenario here with a bigger volume of money involved here.
So here's my first.
People lost their mind, by the way, that Carson Wentz was brought up in the same sentence.
Right. Yeah.
But the problems of the Carson Wentz administration, there are some similarities.
And we're gonna do a deep dive in this in the next segment. But like my first push, and look, I love D Gunn, like one of my favorite people. That
he's a great dude.
I mean, I've been talking to him for years. Numerous midday shows that I've produced, and here on Kincade and Salciunas we've had him.
I will tell you, if you trust somebody's voice out of that locker room, he is top 3, if not top. Like as far as the ones that guys talk to, the guys respect.
Yeah.
He moves around that room. He's got the credibility.
Right. So when he talks about Jalen Hurts kind of, has them by the stones because of the financials, my first thought is I understand what he's saying, the cap hit and all that kind of stuff. No, you know how he has them by the stones? And, like, we're all fine with it? He's the Super Bowl MVP. Like, he does. He won a Super Bowl. Like, what? Like that's number 1. Like,
right.
You're not going to move on from your Super Bowl MVP 1 year or 2 years after winning it.
No, but it's making it clear that people that are talking to him in that organization, they're fed up. They're fed up with stuff. And they're not just blaming everybody else. Like, I blame a lot, and I've said it, I blame a lot on the way that A.J. Brown has went about his business. But it's obvious that when Derek Gunn tells you he's not the only one that is having some problems with how things are being done and with the quarterback.
Right. Well,
it's not only A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's handling it poorly.
Right.
But the issues are there. And again, all 3 of us have agreed, and we've talked about it every time. None of us disagree with the valid points that A.J. Brown makes.
Right, it's the way he goes.
It's the way he's going about his business.
But that's why, like yesterday when we read you the report from Diana Orsini, like I didn't see anything like damning. Now, you might be upset that somebody's speaking with Diana Orsini.
I think
that's
it's ridiculous.
Totally fine. But like the report of there are things about the offense that they like to do that maybe Jalen is uncomfortable with. Now, look, from a football standpoint, I don't want to force my player into uncomfortable situations. Like, I don't. Like, if a guy's not good at something, if a guy can't shoot threes, I'm not going to have him shoot from the three-point line.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to put him in a situation
We lost. It sucks. I am who I am. It is what it is.
that best suits that player. So
Okay.
if Jalen Hurts is uncomfortable with certain areas of the field in terms of throwing the football, you have to try to scheme around it. Unless you think it's a detriment. But here's the deal. They won a Super Bowl, so has it really been a detriment?
Okay, I can't judge this because I wasn't with you at the time. Connor, you were maybe around it, and Andrew can just answer honestly. What did you feel about Ben Simmons' unwillingness to shoot threes?
I didn't care about the threes. I wanted him to attack the basket.
And his unwillingness to shoot, period.
I wanted him to attack the basket.
Okay. So
then he went cuckoo.
As part of his job, those are things that are pretty required to be good at your job, Ben Simmons. So I don't care what a quarterback wants to do or is uncomfortable with doing. There are things you've got to do as part of the job.
Sure.
So he should be held to the same standard. Is that if it truly is, and I'm putting question mark, if that truly is the issue, then that's a problem.
Right, but it's like
I don't care
asking Kyle Short to bunt.
But
you know what I mean?
No, because having your power hitter bunt isn't a critical component for most teams of what a power hitter does. For a quarterback, these are things that a quarterback is supposed to do. So if it is real, that's a problem.
Coming up next, I know you have some questions about what we just played, so we will react to that. And what's something no one wants to hear this late into the season, and yet they're 8-2. That's drama. Like, nobody wants to hear drama pop up. We'll check our text line as well. 610-632-0975. How do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Do you ignore it because the defense will win? Do you expect it to get better, or do you think it's going to hold them back? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A rough Monday for the Birds. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are 8-2, but had a rough Monday yesterday as it was announced that Lane Johnson has a Liz Frank sprain. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks and could be heading on to injured reserve. Nick Sirianni met with media yesterday and talked about the Lane Johnson injury.
We'll see with Lane. I know that he'll do everything he can do to get back as quick as he possibly can and have a lot of confidence in Pryor and Fred. I think they've played good football, when they've been able to go in and play.
Not only is there that big loss for the offensive line with Lane, but there's also been growing reports that frustration inside the organization with quarterback Jalen Hurts has been a thing this year. We'll keep an eye on that, but it's now officially Dallas week. The Cowboys took down the Raiders last night and welcomed the Birds this Sunday for a divisional showdown. Sixers had a nice comeback win over the Clippers, 110-108 last night. Paul George made his season debut, scored 9 points in 21 minutes. Tyrese Maxey led all scorers with 39. Sixers face the Raptors on Wednesday. It's an off night tonight in Philly sports. Jeff McClain of The Inquirer joins us at 8:25 for the latest on the Birds. Amy Fadul will join us for the entire 9 o'clock hour. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs come with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'll check our text line here momentarily. I know our YouTube chat is buzzing this morning after the latest report from Derek Gunn on the Bet Parks postgame show, talking about how there's people inside the organization that are frustrated with the quarterback. And Mopar chimes in 26-5 over the last 31 games. You know, why is the organization frustrated with the quarterback? Now, here's just
Mopar's not.
No, he's not wrong.
Anything. No, I mean he's saying something that honestly it has to be thought about.
And that should be like the number one, like
winning.
We're winning.
I said to you yesterday, winningest quarterback versus winning teams since 1950.
Right.
50.
Yeah.
75 freaking seasons is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And you got people in the building acting like they're at the high school lunch table. It's so cowardly. It's so childish. It's unfreaking believable.
My guess as to why the organization would be frustrated. All right, and I don't. You guys can say media guy, just thinking of stuff, but
okay,
this is a legitimate guess. Like they have A.J. Brown, they have Devontae Smith, they have Dallas Goedert, they have all these weapons, and Jalen Hurts throws for 110 yards in a game.
They're 18th in passing.
Right. Like that might be why the organization is frustrated. Like, look at the tools we've provided you to build a mansion, and you made a house out of a box.
They're 14th in rushing.
Right.
They're 18th in passing.
Now the rushing's not Jalen's fault.
No, I understand, but they're 18th and 18th in passing, 14th in rushing. They are 16th in points per game.
Right. With all the talent, maybe that's why the organization's frustrated.
Yeah, and exactly. You can understand that. And to me, that's just incredible. The Eagles have gone through, by the way, the hard part of their schedule. They're 8th in points per game allowed in defense. That number's going to rise. That number is going to become, they're going to go from 8th. They're going to get to I would think top 3 or top 4.
Yeah.
Because the easier part of their schedule's coming.
Your doll Kitty chimes in on
Kitty?
the YouTube chat.
Kitty Carriel?
The organization, if it's true, would rather blame the quarterback than admit they made a mistake again, hiring a man that's not experienced with play calling, just like how Brian Johnson had to be the fall guy. Pathetic.
Who is that, Kitty?
Yes.
Kitty Smart. Kitty Smart. Like who would be doing the cover your ass routine with this? Maybe the incompetent offensive coordinator that isn't getting the job done, or the guy who hired him.
Could be.
Could very well.
We have a. I lost it because YouTube refreshed. Somebody said maybe it's Howie, because Howie's a guy that likes to work the media, as we know.
Oh yeah, he manipulates.
It's a tinfoil cap day.
What are we playing? Clue? There's Howie Roseman with the candlestick and the NovaCare complex.
Here's the deal: when there's drama every single week, yes, we are playing Clue at this point.
I know.
And you know what? So is the team. Like, here's the thing: I know. A lot of you out there don't like that we talk about this stuff. I'm sorry. It's a story, so we talk about it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you the organization is also going, all right, who is this? We need to figure this out. We know.
You mean the leak?
Yes. We know that Jeffrey Lurie was so bothered by the recent comments by A.J. Brown on the Twitch, which a lot of you said, oh, what's a Twitch? Who cares about Twitch anyway? Where Jeffrey Lurie had to go down to the practice field, which he doesn't always do. I know he goes around every once in a while. He had to go to the practice field, get Big Dom to pull A.J. Brown away from warm-ups to speak with the player. Sal Powell reports that it was a cordial conversation, and they hugged it out, and A.J. promised that it won't happen again. But the fact that it got to that point tells you that it was bothering enough people in-house. It wasn't just the media was talking about it. It bothered enough people in-house that Jeffrey Lurie had to step in and have a conversation with A.J. Brown. The fact that Derek Gunn has this out there in the media from over the weekend, I guarantee you there is somebody in-house trying to figure out what is going on, and maybe we're going to try to figure some stuff out and squash it. And they have every opportunity to squash any beef that there is. But again, it's led to a point where we're talking about needing to squash something.
And more importantly, too, is the important thing is, do you want it squashed or do you want it fixed? I don't want it squashed. I want it fixed. And right now, it just appears that there's constant fires that have to be put out. With this administration and all the things that Nick Sirianni's done that are very good, like winning all the time.
Like overcoming a lot of drama.
This is absolutely, it's exhausting.
Yes.
They're exhausting. And they seem to be exhausted, too, with each other. which isn't good because there's elements in that locker room or otherwise that are really voicing their frustrations, whether publicly or behind the scenes, that the owner's even getting involved.
And look, if they're 2-8, that's one thing. They're 8-2, and they're the defending Super Bowl champions. So, Johnny, you had a couple other thoughts on the D-Gun report.
Well, the one thing I would tell you is that, first of all, anybody who suggests that Derek Gunn is making something up or otherwise, you don't know his reputation. He has flawless, impeccable reputation and stuff. All I know is Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts is the problem, I'm gonna question this. Here's just a few Hurts quotes. We got to get out of this play not to lose mentality. We have to come out, play aggressive, and play our game. You saw our game in the second half. That was after the Rams.
Yes.
Hurts desired before the 2024 season, where they went to the Super Bowl last year, he publicly believed the Eagles were overly reliant on vertical routes and not utilizing short to intermediate throws, particularly over the middle, where Brown has thrived in his career. That sounds like Jalen Hurts is petitioning for something that people are saying Jalen Hurts doesn't want to do. And you remember last year, after the NFC title game, Jalen Hurts quoted, "They let me out of my straitjacket on Sunday." I'm going to just say to you, if you're just thinking that it's Jalen Hurts that is the problem, there's 3 opportunities, 2 of them within the past calendar year, where Jalen Hurts has spoken out and said, look, take the shackles off. Let me do something here. You're asking me to quarterback a team wearing handcuffs.
Yeah.
Let me out of it. And so to me, that sort of goes contrary to Jalen Hurts being this overly nervous guy that doesn't want to do things. I think it's an unfair representation of Jalen Hurts.
All right, what do we got in the text line, Connor? It's 610-632-0975. How do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Ignore it because you think the defense will win? Do you expect it to get better? Do you believe it will hold them back? And, of course, any reaction to the drama, have at it.
This texter checks in and says, my only hope for this offense is that with the easier schedule coming up, we're going to have a couple of games like the second Giants game. And confidence is an incredible thing. Having that going into the playoffs could boost the offense just enough to go all the way.
All right.
Okay. Look, I like the optimism there, and you could see it happening.
Yeah, here's the beauty of how good this defense is. We don't need the Eagles' offense to average 30 a game, right? Like,
no, we don't.
This isn't 2023 where they had to average 30 points a game to win games because the defense could not get a freaking stop. This is not the Cincinnati Bengals last year where Joe Burrow had to throw for 450 yards to lose by a field goal, right? Like, this defense is so good that the offense has to improve slightly. And we just hope that those improvements happen soon. Unfortunately, you had the bye week, and you've come out with 2 of your worst offensive performances since then, albeit against pretty good teams in the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. Real quick, we want to just address something. Yesterday, I know it's been out on social media. I know Crossing Broad wrote about it. I know our own Haley put it out on social media. Haley Taylor-Simon is no longer with us here at 97.5 The Fanatic, and what people don't know is that really hurt us behind the scenes, Johnny. We were very upset with the decision that was made.
Don't say past tense.
And, you know, I spoke with Haley again on the phone last night, and just to let the people know what kind of person Haley is, we all walked out with her yesterday. I don't remember seeing that often in this building. That's how loved she is as a person. That's how much we appreciated everything that she did with the show. And it freaking hurt yesterday. And it's just another one of those days with this industry that we love, but also can't stand sometimes.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day.
No.
It wasn't a good day. And we love Haley. And we all got to talk to her yesterday. And we did. We walked out with her. And then we had a chance to catch up with her. I know you spoke to her on the phone. I spoke to her on the phone. We're going to miss her presence around here.
Yes.
And it's hard
Yeah.
to say otherwise.
It's really freaking disappointing. But yeah, we just wanted to address that because she's a big part of our YouTube community as well. And
by the way, she wanted to make sure when I hung up the phone last night, she said she wanted to make sure to the YouTube crew, She loves you guys as much as she loves us, and she worked with us every day.
She loves them more.
She definitely
I got to
loves
tell
them.
you, she loves them so much, and she wanted you to know how much you guys meant to her.
Yeah. So, tough day yesterday. Tough day. All right, coming up next. Believe it or not, drama is not the worst news for the Eagles right now. The health of a key player is, though. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. On here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I was just laughing coming out of commercial.
What were you laughing at?
Because I saw something on social media that was just tweeted at me by SportsDad215.
Okay.
I don't know when. I don't know if I want to read it now, but it's something that I said to you guys before the show started.
What's
We've
that?
gotten the text, too.
What's that?
We have.
Yeah, you're not the only one who thought of this.
All right. So yesterday,
There, you know what? As you just say that, I have somebody in my socials right here saying the same thing. Saying, look, it's something that is being brought up by others, so bring it up. So bring it up.
I thought maybe I was the only lunatic. So I was going for my walk yesterday, and it was an hour.
Watching all the Christmas lights in your neighborhood before Thanksgiving?
Nah, I just had my head down.
Oh, okay.
Going for my walk, and that's where I do a lot of thinking. It's a dangerous hour, right? Because I am thinking way too much.
You need to walk less.
But maybe I did not overthink something,
Dr.
considering
Connor.
we're getting text messages on it, and Sports Dad 215's chiming in, and you're getting responses to it. Somebody unretired just a couple weeks ago, and now all of a sudden there's a lot of whispers once again.
Out of that locker room.
Thank you, 97.5.
There now is a look. It's people are asking it.
Right.
Going is
nobody's saying that's who it is.
no, but it's saying why is the and here's a good one for you. Adrian, one of our listeners, says I know Connor will not speculate on this, so don't ask Connor. But isn't it strange that all of a sudden in the last 2 weeks we now have a absolute flow of private whispers coming out of the locker room that didn't exist coming out before?
Yeah, I think it's strange. I'm just not going to definitively say it's Brandon Graham.
Nobody said.
Right.
Nobody definitively said yesterday either. It's the speculation. You can do logical speculation. And logically, it is such poor behavior. I got to tell you, it pissed me off. Is CJ asking me, what bothers you so much about people just speaking their truth? Well, first of all, there is no such thing as their truth. There's only one truth. Truth became, somehow Oprah Winfrey convinced people that people have their own truths. There's one truth. And more importantly, it bothers me because it's unprofessional behavior. That is not how you are supposed to handle your business. You're not supposed to be doing, man, I don't like Andrew, so I'm gonna tell Crossing Broad something. I'm going to do it. And by the way, I've worked with people in this industry that do crap like that. It's bad.
Yeah, it's
bad.
not great.
And people like that should be jettisoned.
Yeah.
Gone.
So look, it's all speculation, but it is interesting that somebody unretired a few weeks ago. That
all of a sudden, it's
that person who very publicly addressed Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown last year. And so I thought I was the crazy one going for my long walk, but a lot of people, how many people have texted that in?
One.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's there.
Maybe it's all Sports Dad 215. Maybe it's the same
No,
person.
but it's there. And by the way, like to me, I go back to what Mopar said. And that's where I just keep going back to.
26-5 in the last 31 games.
I've waited my whole life to root for this team, this type of team. And there's a lot of miserable people around it that are surrounded with this team. I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about around this team. And it bothers me to no end because I'm just like, okay, put on your big boy pants, go to work, and shut up.
Especially when you're winning. Like if this was the Vegas Raiders after
you'd understand
another
it.
game like last night, or let's say you're the Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett has second thoughts, right? Man, I shouldn't have taken $400 billion to play for this team.
As if he didn't know that was going to happen.
Like, all right. I think you're crazy because we all knew that was happening, but all right, you're having second thoughts. Like, this team's winning. And I understand it might not be the way that people expect it to. Does anybody, forget A.J. Brown, let's talk about this room, our rooms, because Connor's over there. This room, do we expect the Eagles to win 2 games where they total 26 points?
No.
Maybe in one game they score 26 and then lose.
Or no, maybe they lose. If you told me going into the Lions and the Packers, they were going to score 26 points total, I think I would have told you that they were going to lose both games.
Right. But
they didn't. And so I'm going to deal with the reality of they didn't. But to me, if you had said to me 26 points going into those 2 games.
Yeah, you're thinking they're 0-2.
I would have thought 2 losses.
Right.
Because I would have just said, look, you're going to need 20-something to beat both of these teams.
Yeah. Shows you how dominant the defense has been, which is why we have our question today. We have a Twitter poll, believe it or not. We don't have the Avidan Appel sponsorship that Unfiltered has.
Okay.
But how do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Ignore it. The defense will win. Expect it to get better. Or this will hold us back. What do we got on 975thefanatic.com, Connor?
All right, so our leader right now, 53% of our responders are saying they expect it to get better. 46% are saying this will hold them back. And a little quick math will tell you 1% of our responders are saying ignore it.
Well, I appreciate that only 1%.
I do too. I'm proud of it.
Are
proud
ignoring it.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
I'm not surprised that majority of the people will say it'll get better. And you know why? Because this time last year, we were having very similar conversations, and it got better. The one thing I will continue to bring up, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, at least last year you had the ground game to believe in.
Yes.
The Eagles were the number one rushing team in the NFL, even at this point last year when we were having questions about the offense. There is nothing that I can sit back and say, well, at least we have this, other than pedigree. Because the pedigree is they're the defending Super Bowl champions.
Pedigree should be part of your thought process, shouldn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, it's like so. I mean, that's fair. You're not being a homer by doing that. Pedigree of the Eagles should come into any evaluation, any conversation.
If they find a way to make it work, with AJ and Saquon and Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith, yeah, I could expect that to happen.
I absolutely believe it's going to get better. That's how I would answer. If I answered Twitter polls, that would be what I would answer.
And marginally.
That's
you're
it.
You're not asking them to be the greatest show on turf.
How about a top 10? They are like 16th in points scored is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's got to get up.
Get me in the top 8 to top 10. And by the way, I do believe that's where they're going to end up.
Now, by the way, we didn't get into it till I'm going to get into it now. Lane Johnson, that is a concern. So,
that's a major concern.
According to Adam Schefter, he suffered a Liz Frank injury during the game Sunday against the Lions.
This woman's a problem.
It is not expected to be season-ending, but he could head to injured reserve, and we might not see Lane Johnson until, closer to the playoffs. Now, obviously, Lane Johnson, we know the numbers of when he's on the field versus when he's not on the field. Good thing is Fred Johnson has been a pretty damn good guy to go to. But now Fred Johnson will not be available for those jumbo packages and what this Eagles offense really wants to do. So we got to hope that Lane Johnson rests up and that it's not so much of an impact that they start falling down in the seeding conversation.
That's the only thing that would concern me, is that this Lane Johnson injury could affect their seeding. And again, I think you're talking about a top 3 seed now, not top 4, because I believe the Bucks.
Yeah.
And if the Bucks lose to the Rams on Sunday, then top 3 seeds guaranteed. Like it's an absolute guarantee that it'll be top 3. Then, but there's a huge difference between 1 and 2, and there's a huge difference between 2 and 3. You don't want to be 3. You don't want to be the 3 seed, because then you got to play 2 big road games against really good teams.
NBD in our YouTube chat is the good news. This team seems to thrive off of the drama.
NBD is not wrong on that.
It's insane.
It is insane.
It is insane. They're the most confusing 8-2 1 seed I've ever seen. The offense isn't good. On paper, they are. The offense is not playing well. There's so much drama. The NFC is stacked, and they're on top of it all.
Self-created drama, too, which to me is another thing that just sucks.
All right, coming up next, we'll check our text line a little bit heavier. Next segment, 610-632-0975. Also, is there something to the A.J. Brown story that isn't being talked about enough? I'll tell you what next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles lose Lane. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Tullamore Dew, when it's game time, it's Tully time. The Eagles are 8-2, but had a rough Monday. They might need some Tullamore Dew after yesterday. It was announced that Lane Johnson has a Liz Frank sprain. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks and could be heading on to injured reserve. Not only is that a big loss for the offensive line, but there have also been reports that there's growing frustration inside the organization with quarterback Jalen Hurts' play this year. Nick Sirianni talked about Hurts yesterday.
I think that through this little winning streak that we have going on right now, he just continues to find ways to put us in positions to succeed. But we know as an offense, we want to continue to get better. We have a long way to go, and there's a lot of opportunities for us to get better.
So the coach has his QBs back, but obviously, as he said, opportunity to get better. Well, that opportunity is now Dallas week. The Cowboys took down the Raiders last night, and they'll welcome the Birds this Sunday. So a big-time matchup in division. Sixers had a nice comeback win over the Clippers, 110-108 last night. Paul George made his season debut, scored 9 points in 21 minutes. Tyrese Maxey led all scorers in the game with 39. Sixers play the Raptors on Wednesday. It's an off night tonight in Philly sports. We'll talk to Jeff McClain of the Inquirer coming up next. At 8:25, I should say. Amy Fadul joins us for the 9 o'clock hour. This update's brought to you by Bradford Whitewater water heaters when you need a new water heater. Choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The Fanatic on this Tuesday morning. Philadelphia Eagles are 8-2, and they're acting like they're 2-8.
Yes.
It's unbelievable, the drama that we are dealing with on a weekly basis. Obviously, we talk about it. Duh. Hopefully the Eagles can overcome a lot of their drama, unlike 2023. Now, the good news is, as people always point out, the big difference is the defense is so much better than 2023. And hopefully the winning that continuously happens with this team is the best deodorant. Yeah, there's a lot of drama. It stinks. Nobody wants to deal with this weekly, but they keep on winning games. And hopefully after they win games, the locker room is still a party.
And it was.
AJ Brown said,
right?
Guys are in here dancing. I'm not just because I can't. So they're still celebrating their victories. It's just then 12 hours go by, and then all of a sudden we're not celebrating as much anymore. All right, we'll check our text line here momentarily at 610-632-0975. But is there a part of the A.J. Brown discussion that we are not having, the topic that we're not having? Is there a chance that he's lost a step or two?
I've been bringing this up now for 3 weeks. Just watch if anyone has NFL Plus,
right?
You can go and you could watch every single snap of A.J. Brown. And he's not getting separation. He's not. Everything you're throwing to him is contested. And maybe it's the hammy. I'm not ripping him for it.
Right.
I'm saying just the facts. Go watch it. It costs $74.99 a year to have the NFL Plus. And it's really worth it if you're really into it.
Sure.
And there's a lot of stuff that I know if I sat with DeCecco, he'd show me, you're missing this, you're missing that, whatever. But just anyone who is a football fan would enjoy it. But you can flat out see it. He's not getting separation.
Right. The play that...
And it might be the hamstring. That's probably the reason.
The play that was sort of the biggest talking point online yesterday was finally we got the all-22 of A.J. Brown giving up on the play.
But you don't remember, or did remember seeing it?
No, they mentioned it, but they never showed the replay.
Collinsworth went off on it.
I know he did, but they never showed the replay. I thought, because then they punted, they went to commercial. I thought, all right, I'm a former producer. The typical thing to do is this was A.J. Brown on the last play because Chris Collinsworth, to your point, made such a big deal of it. You would think coming out of commercial break, they would show that. Instead, they had some prepackaged, this is the Lions over the last X amount of games. I'm like, whoa, can we see the thing that your color analyst just had a major problem
And he did have
with?
a major problem with it.
And so yesterday,
For good reason.
a lot of people posted the video. One, to your point, the separation was not there.
What
Two,
did you think when you saw it? What did you? He gave up on it.
He probably thought the play's not coming my way.
He stopped running.
And then he looked up, he saw the ball was coming. He said, oh, damn. Because you see him then turn it back on, trying to get to the football.
And then he just gives up again at the end. At the end, he's just like...
Yeah, because he realized he wasn't going to get to it.
Because he stupidly stopped running on a pass pattern.
And it's happened,
Again,
it's happened a couple times this year, which is problematic.
Quits on plays. And it's unacceptable. And if you're going to run your mouth on social media and you're going to complain about you not getting the ball and you not getting your touches and you not doing all those things, you better sure as hell play every single snap like it's your last.
Yeah, so that
you can't be doing this stuff.
That was my biggest takeaway. Is you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. What A.J. Brown has been saying, nobody is disagreeing with. But when the messenger gives up on a play, and it's not the first time that we've seen it this year, you start questioning, all right, what's going on here? Like, a moment like that, considering all the drama that has been going on, opens the door of people questioning. Now, I know a lot of people say, hey, don't worry about it. Like, they'll be fine. And that's your prerogative. If that's what you believe, that's great. But a play like that, one specific play from a player that has been very vocal about his dislike of the offense, for him to give up on a play makes everybody start putting the tinfoil cap on as to why did that happen? Why is this continuously happening? Why does this seem to be a problem? And after that play, if you look, this is what happens. You start reading into things. Did you guys see? You might not have seen it because you were at the game. When they showed Hurts walking off the field, he had his helmet off and he looked like emotionally upset. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he had some bad visual facial expressions in that game.
And part of it to me was is he upset that the guy that's been talking a lot about the offense just gave up on a route?
Yeah, he should. And by the way, he should be. And Jalen should be. Jalen has all these guys playing. Well, not all these guys. Whoever is talking behind the scenes, tearing him down with his resume of success, tearing him down, whispering about, casting aspersions on his professionalism, his ability to do his job. Jalen Hurts has had every right to go and pull the same crap on any one of them, especially A.J. Brown, the other night. What did he do? Nothing.
Well, because they
Nothing.
won.
No, because Jalen Hurts conducted himself like a professional.
Oh, I know, but he also
He didn't feel that
the main thing.
How about going to did Jalen Hurts go to social media and put out there, everybody on the team we all need to be focused and playing every down hard? No,
he did
no,
not.
this Confucius crap. He's out there. He's just he does what a leader does.
He is Confucius and
No, in other words,
he is King Confucius.
Yeah. But he's not doing that here. He could easily have put out something cryptic that would have taken a shot at A.J. Brown, like A.J. Brown has done to him.
All right, let's go to the phone. Let's go to Trey in Bucks County. Trey, you're on Kincade Salciunas. What's up, dude? All right, let's go to Brian in Dallas. What's up, Brian? You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, fellas, how's it going? Boy,
Dude.
John, I got so much to say to you, but I got so little time. But at the end of the day, I love you, man.
All right.
One, when you talk about A.J. Brown giving up on routes, right? You did address, I do think it's the hammy, but also, as we have said countless times, man, it's the route tree concepts as well, particularly when you look at the Detroit game. All right, you run a drag route, a three-step drag route. You're running to a window to throttle down if it's a linebacker sitting there, particularly in man defense. We run that route to A.J. Brown a lot. You get separational out routes and deep in routes.
Well, then speak about the one we're speaking of, the one he quit on when he stopped running halfway through the play and then restarted and then gave up on it at the end.
Okay, I'll give you that. But what about the other?
No. Why are you accepting that? Why are you accepting that he quit on a play?
I didn't say I accepted it. John, I didn't say I accepted it. All right. Okay. Let me ask you this. What is the when you say he quit on a play? Right? He could have quit. He could have pulled up. It could have been a lot of things. When the ball is overthrown, what do you want him to do?
It wasn't overthrown. The ball fell. The ball was.
Brian,
if he doesn't,
hold on, Brian.
If he doesn't stop running,
quarterback's got to throw to a spot, right? And he was running, and then he stopped running as Jalen Hurts was releasing the football. Jalen Hurts was trying to put it to a spot. And A.J. Brown then looks up and says, "Oh damn, the ball's coming my way."
And then
you see him start to speed up again. But at that point, it was too late, and that's why the ball was overthrown.
The ball's not overthrown.
I can't blame Jalen for that.
No, I won't.
But you just said it.
John, calm down.
No, but you just said that. That's the excuse you gave.
John, no, I just said, if you just heard me, I just said that wasn't a route I'm talking about. I was wrong. Did you not hear me say that?
No, I didn't hear, but I heard you say it was overthrown. That ball wasn't overthrown, right?
Right, and I just, no, that ball was not.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
I was talking about.
What else you got, Brian?
The second point, right, is all week, as we all agreed, A.J. Brown, what he said, and you said it yourself, John, what he said, you agreed with. Agreed with, right? So why are you dogging him, man, if he's telling the truth? Because you've always said that. You said, remember in 2023, when Hurts and Sirianni had an alleged beef, right? You dogged Hurts for not giving his coach a bone. Your exact words was, the fact that Jalen Hurts said nothing positive about his coach and didn't say nothing at all tells you all you need to know about the man's personality. And now you call him a professional because he just didn't say anything, and you wanted him to tell the truth. So why is A.J. Brown any different, particularly if you agree with him?
Because you don't go to Instagram to tell the truth.
Call, Brian.
You don't use social media. You're not a teenager. Like, come on. You're a teammate.
It's once, again, sorry to sound like a broken record. This show has no problem with what A.J. Brown is saying.
No, I totally agree with what he said.
The problem is the way he has gone about it. So much so, forget us, all right? So much so that the owner of the football team had to go to the practice facility, go to the field, have Big Dom bring him over, and hash things out. All right?
Big Dom.
So much so that the owner of the football team had to have some words with AJ. And by all reports, it was a cordial conversation, not a screaming match.
No, not
right?
at all.
But the conversation had to happen. At least the owner felt that way. So forget us. Do you agree with Jeffrey Lurie having to do it or not? That's your question that you have to answer for yourself. All right, coming up next, we had the quietest return from injury last night. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, 7-Eleven here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Two things before we get to the quietest return from injury and then back to our text messages as well, talking about the Eagles' offense. How do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Do you ignore it? Do you expect it to get better? Or do you believe it'll hold them back? You can text in or call in at 610-632-0975. First, on our YouTube chat, our thoughts go out to our man Mopar. 45 days he's been dealing with a zit in his nose.
Oh, my God.
That is by far the worst one.
In his nose?
Yeah, on the inside.
You've never had that?
No.
God bless you. Well,
Is it an ingrown hair then, right, or something?
I don't know how this stuff works.
Okay.
I mean, you have had your own battles with health over the years, so.
Yeah, I've never had that. Yeah, I'm not going to. Wow, that sounds awful.
It sucks because.
Well, I mean, like there's.
Think of any time you just rub your nose.
Why don't you use a Q-tip? Can't a Q-tip break it or anything?
Yeah, but it comes back and it's tough to get rid of it.
Yeah, dude, and it's there forever.
Well, I've never had it.
Oh, dude, it sucks. It sucks. Like, and if you blow your nose, you just breathing, like you could feel it there. It's uncomfortable. You're sleeping on your pillow. If your face is on your pillow, it hurts.
Wow, that's nasty.
All right, another thing. I saw something last night. I literally just tweeted it out because it was on my mind. I saw something last night that gave me the warm and fuzzies.
Okay.
So I drove to the second annual shootout with Salciunas last night.
How was it last night? Good
It was
time?
awesome. Great crowd. College basketball was alive last night at the Palestra, which was really cool, Penn St. Joe's. As I was driving there, I was about to turn on my highway that I get onto to get to Philly. And I saw, like, old school, I say it in quotes, but considering the time of society we're in right now, the pizza delivery car that has the pizza shop on top of the car.
I didn't know they still had those.
I felt so warm and fuzzy when I saw that.
Okay, so are you talking about the
big
plastic
light,
box that's on top of the car?
It was called like Pizza Tower. It's in my neck of the woods.
But is there pizza in that? There's nothing in it, right? There's not like a
the thing on the top of the car.
But there are in Atlanta. There's a firm that has a steel box.
Oh no!
And they actually have the pizzas in it.
No, it's the old.
Pizzas are actually in it.
It's
like the taxi sign.
It's on the seat next to the 16-year-old that just got his license.
And then they put it on, they take it off. They put it on, they take it off.
And it made me feel good because I was like, man, I don't know the last time I saw a delivery car for a specific establishment. Now, and look, I love that the Grubhubs and the Uber Eats and all those have provided people to have jobs, right? Like they make money doing that. I respect that, especially in the city, the amount of people that do it on the bikes, right? Like I get it. But it kind of just made me feel good that there is still a pizza shop out there that is paying some 16-year-old kid to come to the pizza shop probably 4 times a week and drive around and deliver pizzas. It made me feel good yesterday. Brought me back to a kinder, gentler time. What is that, Court Police?
That's Court Police, yeah.
A kinder, gentler time.
All right.
We could use one with the Eagles right now.
Yes, we could.
Kinder and gentler.
Anyone know that Paul George played last night?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. And Connor was texting with all his buddies.
It was.
Including his one buddy, really popular.
It was the most quietest return from an injury for a star player. Well,
he's not a star.
I know. A max contract player, I should say.
That's a good one.
Because Paul George is a max contract player. Regardless of how you feel about him as a player at this stage of his career, he's still a max contract player because the Sixers gave him one, begrudgingly. Well, maybe not begrudgingly for them, but begrudgingly for us.
They were in on it.
Paul George returned yesterday. Now the Sixers won 110-108 over the Clippers. Huge fourth quarter. Sixers outscored the Clip by 12. Our old buddy James Harden had 2 shots at the end to try to win it. Missed both.
Like the legs were a little weak at the end, but he could
he
still
got fouled
play.
on one.
And you believe that was a foul?
100%.
Bro, Quentin Grimes grabbed his elbow.
I mean, look, Quentin Grimes says afterwards. You heard Quentin afterwards.
Yeah, no, it was a foul. The Sixers benefited from a missed call.
There's a lot of times though in the finals shots of the game where they don't call anything. Where you're getting just mauled.
But James Harden is one of those players where you go, how did he come that short on a shot? You usually get the late whistle, and he didn't, and it benefited the Sixers. Sixers won the game last night, but it was like the quietest return. Now, I'm curious to see how this goes as it moves forward. Now, of course, Joel Embiid's been missing some time with the knee injury. Shocking. So we won't be able to see this.
That's not me for a dollar, Connor.
No, I'm not on the dollar thing.
That's not me. I passed on that opportunity.
But with all that being said, Tyrese Maxey once again last night, 41 minutes, 39 points, 6 dimes, averaging 32.5 points per game this year, just under 8 assists, 5 rebounds a game. By the way, he's shooting 45% from the field, so it's not like he's just going out there and
he's not Iversoning it.
Right, he's not just shooting nonstop. Shot 4 of 11 from 3 yesterday, so a lot of threes, but he needed to because they were down big late, and they come back and win. Tyrese Maxey has been spectacular so far this season, and without him, I don't know what this record is, and that is something for the first time I can say, because we saw it last year when they needed to turn to Tyrese Maxey to sort of uplift the team. He played as hard as he could, but it wasn't enough for them to win basketball games. I don't know what the record of this basketball team is if Tyrese Maxey was not suited up for the
You know what
Sixers.
they are. The best chance they got is a play-in tournament team if he's not.
Right.
Best chance. And I don't even know that they maybe have that.
Right.
I mean, he's a big part of it.
So good for Tyrese Maxey. And look, it was good to see Paul George back. It's just, what is it going to be moving forward? We'll find out. All right, what do we got on the text line about our Eagles conversations, Connor?
All right, so we have a check-in here. Very interesting thought from this texter about how they're viewing the Eagles. So John from Clinton, New Jersey says, how do I view this year's Eagles? I pretend I'm a fan of the 2001 Ravens. Stellar defense, crap offense, game manager, quarterback. Kevin Patullo is a fraud and needs to go. Get Brian Dable or Mike McDaniel next season as OC.
Well, Brian Dable will try to murder Jalen Hurts like he tried to kill Jackson Dart. And Mike McDaniel, the offensive genius that he is, has really worked out for them in Miami. I get what you're saying about the Patullo and moving on. The Eagles' defense is that dominant where you could say, hey, they will be able to be the reason why they win football games, even in the playoffs. The clip that was out there yesterday of you, go ahead, bring it on. Come through Philadelphia.
Yes.
You have to come through this defense in order to try to win. It's just, how many times can I say the Eagles will win a football game scoring 10 points or 16 points?
In the postseason, I don't think you're going to win it as much. I really don't.
Can you do it once? Sure.
Yeah,
the
sure you
Packers
can.
game
Yeah,
last
sure you
year. Can they do it 3 times? Probably not.
No, you're not. You're not doing that, and you hope it's not 4 times.
Right.
If this offense doesn't get worked out, then you'll have to be 4 times. I think the 1 seed is all locked. But there are some things that could trip you up.
Lane Johnson missing time.
I didn't expect that, but I'm still looking at it and optimistic, very optimistic.
All right, coming up next. So our topic today for the Eagles, how do you choose to view the Eagles offense? Do you ignore it, expect it to get better, or do you think it'll hold us back? Copy paste that question, but instead of offense, I'm changing the word to drama. Coming up next, we'll just sort of do the drama update. All the latest stuff that's happening with the Eagles. You'll hear the report or what Derek Gunn was saying on his postgame show the other day. And I'm curious how you, the Eagles fan, chooses to view this stuff. I know a lot of you like to ignore it, but can you? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
I love having a Bradford White water heater in my house, and I know that, as you know, that a lot of times we don't think about the things that keep our house running smoothly, to be able to run the laundry, to be able to have the dishwasher going, and more importantly, getting that 4:05 a.m. shower is always important. And Bradford White water heaters are super reliable. They're built to be the best. They provide top performance year after year. Go look at what a Bradford White water heater does compared to its peers out there in the industry. You're going to love it. And more importantly, you're going to need a plumbing professional near you to bring you the perfect Bradford White, install it, and make sure it's working at peak efficiency. Now, you could just want a 25, 50, or 75-gallon model for your home or your business, and they can give you one of those. Or maybe you're interested in their new Infinity tankless or Aerotherm hybrid heat pump models. Sounds space age, huh? Yeah, you can run some of these from an app. And they literally take up so little space, it's going to give you so much better area to work with in some of your unfinished areas of the home. You're going to love Bradford White. Check out BradfordWhite.com to learn more and find that plumbing professional near you, because how you heat your water, it does matter. Choose our friends at Bradford White.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A big injury on the O-line. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are 8-2, but had a rough Monday injury-wise yesterday as they found out Lane Johnson has a Liz Frank sprain. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks and could be heading on to injured reserve. That's a big loss for the offensive line. Nick Sirianni talked about Lane yesterday.
We'll see with Lane. I know that he'll do everything he can do to get back as quick as he possibly can and have a lot of confidence in Pryor and Fred. I think they've played played good football, when they've been able to go in and play.
Not only is the Lane Johnson injury news concerning, but there have also been recent reports that there's growing frustration inside the organization with quarterback Jalen Hurts. So a lot going on with the Eagles right now, and a lot more is about to start because it's officially Dallas week, and the Cowboys took down the Raiders last night on Monday Night Football. They'll welcome the Birds to Jerry World this Sunday. Sixers had a nice comeback win over the Clippers, 110-108 last night. Paul George made his season debut, scoring 9 points in 21 minutes. Tyrese Maxey, 39 points to lead all scorers. Sixers play the Raptors Wednesday. It's an off night tonight in Philly sports. Jeff McClain joins us coming up at 8:25. Amy Fadul will join the show for the entire 9 o'clock hour. This update is brought to you by Temple Football. It's senior day at Lincoln Financial Field. Join Temple Football one last time this season as the Owls take on Tulane Saturday, November 22nd, and celebrate their seniors. Get your tickets now at owlstix.com.
Six here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. the real and inside story on Philadelphia sports. So our question today is whether or not you choose to ignore the Eagles' offense because the defense will win games. You expect the offense to get better, or do you believe the offense will hold them back? Now, I would also like to add a second conversation today regarding our Philadelphia Eagles. And instead of the word offense, exchange it for the word drama.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Well, there's been a lot of it. So let's just kind of update you guys. Recent. We're not going to go all the way back to 2023. Just the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles and what we have seen recently. Obviously, we have the cryptic message after the Buccaneers game from A.J. Brown. I'm not saying what Jalen Hurts said after the game week 3 against the Rams. Like, that was hey, we got to stop playing not to lose. I'm talking about cryptic tweet after week 4. Then we had the cryptic Instagram post. What is it? Hear me, but don't hear me? Something like that. Or use me, but don't use me.
Use me, but don't use me.
And that's what I chose to ignore.
Using me, but not using me.
Yes.
Using me, but not using me.
That's when I chose to ignore A.J. Brown's social media post. But then he goes, you know what, Andrew Salciunas, I heard you say that you're going to ignore my posts. So I'm going to go on Janky Rondo's Twitch.
Right.
And I'm going to call the Eagles offense a bleep show. You can't ignore that one, Andrew.
Which is what got the owner involved.
And then over the weekend, we get there are people in-house upset with Jalen Hurts from Diana Rossini. And then we get there are people upset with Jalen Hurts from Derek Gunn. This was him after the Eagles won on Sunday over the Detroit Lions on his Bet Parks postgame show.
I've been telling you, there's a lot of people in that organization that are frustrated with the quarterback situation right now, but the quarterback understands he has them over a barrel. This is almost Carson Wentz part 2. They're not going to eat this kind of money yet. There's no way they're going to eat this kind of money. Look at the cap hit they took when they got rid of Carson, and look, it took them a couple of years to get back on solid ground again, footing, because they were handcuffed financially because of what they owed, the cap hit they took with Carson Wentz. You get the same scenario here with a bigger volume of money involved here.
I got to tell you, though, and D. Gunn, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
So, and respect the hell out of him. I don't think they took time to recover. They got rid of Carson Wentz. They made the playoffs. They finished 9-8 and won and
went to the Super Bowl the next year.
And then went to the Super Bowl.
I think he means like the dead cap hit of Carson Wentz.
It didn't take them long to recover. Like, I mean, it's just one part of that. I think that it was amazing the way they recovered.
Sure.
But I get it. I don't think it's to the point, and I don't think Derek Gunn was saying they're going to move on.
No. But there's people inside the NovaCare.
And
again,
they're tired of it.
We talked about this earlier. If you're just tuning in, welcome. We appreciate you as always, whether you watch on YouTube, listen on the app, listen on the radio, however you pay attention to the show, we appreciate you. And you can always go back and listen to the show on 97.5thefanatic.com. Check out the hourly podcast. I would not be surprised if there's somebody in-house that's like, man, there are some things we want to do with the offense, but we can't because Jalen's not comfortable with it, or it's just not as good, right? Like, I'm sure there's somebody that says, I would like to run certain routes. Maybe the offensive coordinator would like to do certain things. Maybe the head coach would like to do certain things. I'm just throwing this stuff out there, right?
You are.
Because maybe. I don't know. Like, we always talk about how Jalen Hurts doesn't have the arm strength of this player or doesn't have the speed of this player, but he just has the mentality of winning, which we all love and respect because, hell yeah, they keep on freaking winning football games. And he will tell you he does not care how they do it as long as they win. Nick Sirianni yesterday in his press conference doesn't care as long as they win. But maybe there are some players that don't feel that way, clearly.
If you're trying to put this, though, on Kevin, like saying, is this an excuse if someone's listening to this and going, oh, well, Kevin Patullo, see, there's things he wants to do. Again, I will use to you simplistic and rudimentary were used in the last 24 hours by NFL analysts, including Dan Orlovsky, talking about this Eagles offense. So it is not like we have an offensive coordinator who is drawing up these amazing things or has this. He's drawing up an offense that NFL analysts and former NFL quarterbacks are saying is rudimentary, simplistic. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that angle of it, and there are people who are spinning it that way.
Sure.
Oh, there's things Patullo wants to do and he can't do it. Bull crap, because last year the offensive coordinator drew up a much more creative offense, and I didn't think it was good enough.
Right.
I didn't like it. I didn't think it was taking it far enough. But when you watch Kellen Moore's offense versus this offense, Kellen Moore's offense looks like the space age compared to this.
So if I ask the question, how do you choose to view the Eagles' drama instead of offense, and the options are ignore it, or you expect it to get better, or it'll hold them back, Connor, I'll ask you, what would your response be to that? Because I know the majority of Eagles fans will choose to ignore it. Just our YouTube chat, I know, like the second we talk about anything that involves drama and not X's and O's, they get upset, and that is your right to get upset by it. It's being created by someone.
Not us.
Not us. Players are speaking to members of the media, and then the media's job is to report on it, or some of them are going on their own radio shows and talking about it.
Interesting.
But I'm curious, Connor, if I ask the question and remove the word offense and replace it with drama, what would your answer be?
Ignore what? I mean, at this point, we've had seasons in the past where they have fallen to the drama, and with those have been on-the-field issues. But ultimately, the thing that's going to sink this team is what they do in the time they are on the football field, not what anybody says off the field. They had stuff said last year where we had this whole bit of drama with Brandon Graham talking about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship, and that seemed to be tumultuous for a little stretch. And what they do, a couple weeks later, they turned into the juggernaut team that ended up winning the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, I don't have time for that with a team with the Super Bowl pedigree. I'm focused on what's on the field.
We weren't talking about this offense, though, and I think, Connor, you make a good point there that that's also part of this team's pedigree, what you just pointed out. What you've seen them be able to do in the past has to count.
Sure.
As far as how you look at it. But last year, by this time, nobody was saying Kellen Moore and the offense is going to hold them back from winning a chance to win a Super Bowl by mid-November.
The question was
passing game.
The question was, did they need to improve the passing game?
That was the issue.
Because here's the deal. Up until the Carolina game,
they were dominating people.
Up until the Carolina game, where it was like bad, right? Like Jalen had a bad game, the passing offense was bad. Up until the Carolina game, the question was just, hey, can they actually win 3 to 4 playoff games by running the football as much as they do?
That was our notes, our show topics leading into Steelers week.
Right.
When this team
I said yes, by the way.
When this team, we all did. By the way, we all did. When this team needs to throw the football, will they be able to do it? And so this is different. This is, last year, I had an offensive coordinator who was a proven commodity. This year, I don't.
Last year, you had an offensive line that was healthy.
I had an
this
offensive
year,
line that was completely healthy last year for almost the entire season.
Yeah.
This year, we don't. I didn't have A.J. Brown acting like a child last year. Like, I mean, this is different. He didn't last year. Well, it was fine.
It was more privately, apparently. Brandon Graham went on the radio.
But he did the one-word answer was, what needs to improve after that Carolina game? Passing.
Yeah. There's a chance that in-house for the Eagles this year is not much different than last year, even with this drama. We may be hearing more of it, but this could have existed last year. They could have just done a better job of keeping it in-house.
So, and it could, and you very well may be right with that. Absolutely.
So I want the same question that we have for the Eagles offense to also be replaced by the word drama. Do you think they will overcome it, or do you just choose to ignore it? Let's go to Phil in the Northeast. Phil, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
What's up, Phil?
You guys very good?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
So the issue that I'm seeing is there's no trust, right? Jalen doesn't trust AJ. AJ doesn't trust Jalen. Like, a lot of the passes have to be on time, on target, and it's not going on like that. So that's what I see.
See, I think there's trust because remember, and we appreciate the call, Phil. The 4th and 5 or fourth and the 4th and 6 from 2 weeks ago against the Packers.
There's trust.
They checked into that route.
Yeah.
So there is trust. It's just like,
and more importantly too, Jalen delivered the ball the other night, like on the route that AJ quit on.
Right.
He delivered it right where he was within 2.5 yards. That ball drops. If he's running full speed, he's easily there to catch that ball.
So coming up next, we'll check our text line heavy. Replace the word offense with drama. Both topics are on there. How do you choose to view the Eagles offense? How do you choose to view the Eagles drama? 610-632-0975. Also, are we not asking enough questions about what the quarterback wants? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's check the text line at 610-632-0975. The way we started the show in the 6 o'clock hour was about the sport of football and the Philadelphia Eagles. How do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Will you ignore it because you think the defense is going to overcome and win games for them? If that's your belief, I don't think you're crazy, right? It has to get better, the offense.
Oh, it's going. Look, just the schedule alone is going to make it cosmetically look so much better. 2 games with the Commanders, the Cowboys defense. you're all of a sudden going to see these numbers explode, and then it's going to be like, wow, everything's fixed. And I asked Andrew DeCecco yesterday, is it really fixed? Or is it just going to look great because of the schedule?
Well, maybe if it looks great, that makes everybody feel better. Who knows?
That's what it's going to be, is everyone's going to feel better, but it's going to be like, is it?
Yeah.
Because these are, look, hey, but as I put out in the beginning of the show when we were talking about it, they're winning.
Yeah,
they're winning. They're finding ways to win.
8-2.
We're all familiar with those medical studies where they give a control group a placebo, a pill that doesn't do anything. And mentally, some people, that does the same thing as actual medicine. Maybe this next stretch, even against bad teams, is the placebo that the Philadelphia Eagles offense needs to feel better.
Yeah, that we can do this. We can win these football games with an offense.
7 games to go. I'm looking at the Bears' defense is not great, but it's a challenge. And the Bears' defense may be the best one that they face. I mean, the last 4 games of the year, Raiders, Commanders, Bills, Commanders.
Yeah, you should put up a lot of points.
You should be putting up a ton of points.
Remember the first 4 weeks of the season, you wanted them to score, what, a total of 120?
I wanted 20, and I wanted 27 to be their number for the year. They're at 23.
You might actually get the 120 the final 4 weeks. You should.
Yeah, you could. Oh, no, against those 4 teams?
How about this? You should.
120, I'm going to say you should get more. The Commanders are terrible.
What do we got on the text line?
Our guy Dante from Chickies and Pete's
What's
in
up,
the airport
Dante?
checks in. He says there's no excuse for the Eagles to be ranked 25th in offense with the talent and money put in. I'm done expecting it to change. These last 2 games, the offense was bad. But I ask, who's going to beat us? We beat all the top teams. They'll win the Super Bowl 17-13 against the Broncos or Colts probably.
And that's
the Rams could beat you. The Rams could beat you. The Rams were honestly, Jalen Carter saved the Super Bowl that whole season by getting after Matthew Stafford. They were literally inches away from losing that game.
Yeah, and then earlier this year.
Yeah, you needed 2 blocked field goals in the fourth quarter to win a game on your home field against the Rams. The Rams have had the better season, and I don't think it's close.
Yeah,
compared to the Eagles. So they could beat you. The Rams could beat you.
Now,
anyone else? I'm not really concerned about. I don't want to see Detroit come back in, though. By the way,
no,
I don't want to see them come back.
I don't think they'd be able to do that
because I think they're very.
Again.
I think they're very talented.
One thing to note of Dante's text, because we're wondering, all right, why is the organization frustrated? Right? There's people within the organization, Diana Rossini. People within the organization, Derek Gunn. And there were people on our YouTube chat, and deservedly so. Why would they be frustrated when they're 26-5 over their last 31 games? What Dante said in that text, they're 25th in offense with all this money allocated to the offense. That could be it.
Well, who would? I'm going to tell you this, and just from years of cover, when I've been embedded with a team, where I've had to be with a team every day, players don't care about that. They don't care about the money that's being spent on offense. Like, we care about it.
Yeah, but what about
the front office might?
Right, that's what I'm saying. What about the guy that constructed a team?
That comment.
Within the organization could be Jeffrey Lurie.
Right.
Could be the water boy. Right? Like, it could be anybody. But if somebody is allocating a lot of resources to a specific side of the ball, and that side of the ball is nowhere near as good as the much less expensive side of the ball, they're like, dude, what are you guys doing? I have all this in front of you, all this talent, and we're, 25th in offense?
And I would suggest to you that Jeffrey Lurie has been on the record and absolutely credited to him that when the offense isn't pass happy or pass looking good in the passing game, he's not happy.
Now, he's
not happy.
Changed his tune a little bit last year. Well, they won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
He changed his tune last year when he said, I don't care how we do it as long as we win. But to your point, when it was Doug Peterson, I still remember because it was the Thursday night game.
Was it Green Bay?
Green Bay in Lambeau. The next day I left for my bachelor party. All right. I did a watch party, and then I left for my bachelor party the next day. So I remember that.
Good timing.
I remember that weekend very well, or I remember parts of that weekend very well. But I remember Thursday night, the Eagles go into Lambeau and run the football toward a victory against one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL. On a short week in Lambeau,
right?
That's a great win. And according to many reports, Jeffrey Lurie was upset with the way they won. And you go, hold on a second, brother. Like, You just went in the Lambo. And by the way, this was like Rodgers' good Lambo. Like this is
a really good. Yeah,
This wasn't Malik Willis, right? Like this was Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, and he was upset with how they won. So to your point, John, yeah, last year the tune changed a little bit. The tone changed a little bit because they were winning,
and it was a historic season.
But they're winning this year.
They're winning this year, and I feel the one thing that I point to, and Connor referred to it earlier, one of our texters did, is like to me, pedigree really does matter.
It does,
and I can't get over. As I said, I begged to see this my whole life, and you spoiled brats, and I love you both, but you spoiled brats that grew up in an era where you've always seen the Eagles be pretty relevant and pretty good. I begged for this, and so to me, I refuse to be miserable about the Eagles being great.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
LT Go Birds on YouTube. The issue should not be the passing game solely. The lack of the run game has been alarming to me. To me, it's an O-line issue. And that's why I keep on saying the one thing that worries me is at least last year, this time, we could still lean back and say, well, at least Saquon's going to rush for 180. And that's going to control the clock. It's going to give your defense time to breathe. You're not going three and out constantly. You are exhausting the opposing team's defense. Right? Think about that for a second. Saquon's second halves were the big half.
That's where his third quarters he slit people's throat.
They beat him up in the first half, and then the second half Saquon was still fresh, and that's when you would start to see the 60-yard runs. You're not getting that this year. And to me, that's the most alarming thing with the Eagles offense, that you don't have something to at least lean back on other than pedigree, which is something everybody has the right to lean on. But other than pedigree, there's nothing to be like, at least we got that.
Do you think the majority of people, not to put up another poll, do you think
let's poll it up.
Our YouTube folks can answer this one for us, too, and our texters. I put a ton into pedigree. Maybe I put too much on the seesaw. I put too much of, like, pedigree matters to me heavily. And maybe for someone else, pedigree is more like 50-50 or even less. I just believe there are a lot of people who have gotten amnesia about who this group is.
Yeah, look, I'll say I think pedigree.
Where do you put it?
Pedigree
50-50?
sometimes an afterthought for me.
Okay, see, for me,
because I
put
how many
too much
times
on
have
it.
you heard me say, I got to see it first?
You are. Now,
and I'm saying that about the defending Super Bowl champion.
You're like Doubting Thomas of the Bible story. You're like the Doubting Thomas. You want to stick your hand right into Jesus' side.
Hallelujah.
Before you believe it. Connor's more of, he's a believer.
Let me see that wine.
Connor's a believer.
Damn right, baby. Shout out Shrek.
Connor would have been the best. You would have been the best apostle, Connor, because you would have just believed everything.
Damn right.
Andrew's Doubting
I was
Thomas.
number 13. I just missed the list.
All right, coming up next.
Well, then when Judas left, you could have slid right in.
Nah, we're consolation prizes.
For the people that are maybe a little tired of offense conversation, we're going to love on the defense a little bit. Dan Orlovsky spoke on the lockdown defense. You will hear that next because, let's face it, it seems like they are the real key to the success for the Eagles this year. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic. Here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. So, John.
Yes, sir?
Something that you do not know that happened Saturday.
Oh, here we go.
What happened?
I know I'm just going to get destroyed.
What
you
happened?
should be.
So Saturday was the Philly Sports Trips True Fan Travel event at the Reading Terminal Market.
Okay.
And it benefited the Eagles Autism
And I'm
Foundation.
sure it was a first-class spectacular event.
As always with Philly Sports Trips, but, man, also the Reading Terminal Market. My wife and I actually looked into doing that for our wedding, to shut down the Reading Terminal Market thing.
Really?
It's a really
No, I heard it's
a
an
really
amazing
cool concept.
experience.
You get to pick which restaurant or, which eateries stay open.
Okay.
And then, there's space to walk around.
So, like someone could go and I want to get a Terminese cannoli.
If they
that's
the one that you picked to be open, yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic.
So it was great. Drinks were great, food was great, and the churro was delicious.
Okay.
So I had a churro.
Connor's shaking his head at you, so I can't wait to hear this.
Now, I saw they had a couple of members of the Reading Terminal Market walking around with trays of food, because there's high tops. Hey, would you like something like this, And I believe it was Ray.
No.
Was it you?
Yeah, I got you.
Connor grabbed the churro, and I said, well, grab
now,
me
how
one.
big is the churro? Is it a normal size, like
no,
a
it was a
Disney
small
churro?
guy.
Yeah.
Small one?
Yeah,
Like your
small
index
one.
finger?
Something
like
that.
that.
It looked like a U.
Oh, like a
Like
U.
it
Okay.
wrapped around a little bit.
Okay.
So Connor grabbed the churro. I go, yo, grab me one. So Connor grabs another one, and I botched the handoff. And the churro fell to the floor.
Okay, that happens in life. Well, get over it.
And then I picked it up and ate it.
Off the floor at the Reading Terminal Market.
What are you, George Costanza? You ate something off the floor. No, look, I love Reading Terminal Market. It's one of my favorite parts of our downtown. Are you freaking kidding me? You ate something off the floor there?
Considering all the foot traffic, yeah, I may regret the decision that I made.
No, you're okay. You've survived. You're this far.
I will tell you, this churro was deserving of the foot traffic of the Reading Terminal Market.
Then
Was
go
it
to
not?
the tray guy.
You tried it.
Yeah, I didn't eat mine off the floor. They were giving them out, Andrew. Just go get another
churro.
one.
I didn't want to waste the churro. That was a perfectly fine life that churro lived before it was time for me to eat.
He is. You're George Costanza. Like, I can't imagine eating off the floor of the Reading Terminal.
It was now, Connor. You would admit 5-second rule if you believe in it.
There's no such thing.
I was like sub 2.5.
Yeah, he was quick.
There's no such thing.
Bro,
you know
should have
that,
seen
right?
me like a cat. Like this. Connor said that you could tell that I was a catcher.
It was like one motion.
Yeah, dude. It was drop. I think I called it off the rebound. Honestly, I think it bounced up.
You might have, but it still touched the floor at the Reading Terminal Market, and you proceeded to quickly put it in your mouth.
Bacteria transfers to food instantaneously when it hits the floor. Picking it up quickly is not enough to guarantee safety. The rate of contamination depends on factors like the food's moisture. So a churro is sort of crispy, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably a little less.
Yeah.
The surface type and the type and amount of bacteria that are present. On a floor that is walked over by thousands of people on a daily basis?
Now, I'm pro eat off the floor normally, but not at Reading Terminal Market.
Now, at your home, if you were to pick something up off the floor quickly at your home, I would have a different opinion about it.
But the Reading Terminal Market is where you cross the line.
There's just too many people, and it's no knock on the Reading Terminal Market.
No,
it's one of my
it's foot
favorite places,
traffic,
but there's
yeah.
foot traffic. There's thousands of people. In your house, now, if you live in our house where my wife is militant, where she's like, oh, my God, are you walking with your shoes on?
Yeah.
You walking with your shoes all around my house? And I'm like, your house?
All I'm saying is, man, it was worth it. And I have some regrets, but I don't regret it too much because it was a good-ass churro. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. All right, the Eagles' defense is why we have this Eagles' offense conversation about whether or not you choose to ignore the Eagles' offense because the defense is that good. Here was Dan Orlovsky on the Pat McAfee show. I imagine you cleaned it up because we can't conduct an interview without cursing.
There's plenty of cursing that goes on in this one.
Here was Dan Orlovsky on the Pat McAfee show yesterday talking about the Eagles' dominant defense.
Yeah, I would tell you what happened to him was the Eagles' defensive line exposed the Lions' offensive line. That was the best front that the Lions' offensive line has played all season long, probably since at least week 1 Green Bay. And the Jalen Phillips-Carter combo is just, dominant right now. Jordan Davis, Ojomo, Hunt. I think Jared was 0 for 12 last night under pressure. So it was more so the Lions' offensive line just getting dominated. And then sticky coverage, but that was more Philly's defensive line kicking the absolute what out of the Lions offensive line.
Did you see, by the way, though, what Pat McAfee did to Orlovsky?
What?
There was a major GIF going out, GIF, yesterday of Dan that they were showing highlights of Jared Goff, and they superimposed Orlovsky and his number on his back of his jersey. It said, that the Lions fans were having flashbacks.
That's fair play.
And it was funny. And Orlovsky kept seeing it and laughing during the bit because they constantly give him crap.
Sure, yeah.
They give him crap constantly that he wasn't a good quarterback. And they read texts and show texts of him, people saying, why are you listening to this guy? He was trash.
Right.
And they constantly do it to him.
Yeah.
And he's a great sport with it.
I see the way my brain works. You play that clip and it's about the Eagles defense and all that kind of stuff. So what you guys did not hear was the full question and an answer, and
which was all full of curses.
And Pat McAfee cursed like 6 times. So there was no point of playing it because you just hear beep 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 beep. Dan Orlovsky proceeded to answer, and you hear him say in the clip, "They kicked the what out of him," and I go, Dan, you could have just said it because Pat literally said the F-bomb 6 times. Asking the question.
But that's not Dan's brand.
And he was thinking of us radio producers that have to cut it.
And that's not Dan's brand. Dan doesn't. That's not how Dan speaks in real life.
That's how my brain works.
Yes.
All right. What do we got on the text line? And then I want to get to a call because we did talk about it. The Sixers won last night, and it was the quietest return of a max contract player ever.
John from Levittown checks in, says if Jalen is being conservative, his history of winning big games means he deserves our trust. He outplayed Mahomes in the Super Bowl we lost. He outplayed Mahomes in the Super Bowl we won. He's shown the ability to be an assassin when we need him, so you got to imagine it's going to get better.
I think that's the big one when it comes to the pedigree conversation. Like, we have literally seen them turn it on in the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Which is so funny to me.
His 3 best games, if you ask, and yesterday I asked Connor that, the 3 best games of Jalen Hurts' career are 2 Super Bowls and 1 NFC title game.
Yeah.
That should be enough for you to always say, dude, he's got to get the benefit of the doubt. Because you don't say that about Donovan McNabb, who was a great quarterback.
Sure.
And one of my favorites of all time. But you never would say Donovan McNabb in the biggest games had his best game.
You wouldn't say it about Lamar.
Lamar has
Lamar,
not.
but
he is not.
It's not hard to find the game logs, like, from the playoffs.
It's not.
It's crazy. Let's go to Stan in Drexel Hill. Stan, what did you make of the return of Paul George, the quietest return of a max contract player ever?
Yeah, I was actually encouraged by some of the things I saw. Obviously, you got to knock off the rust, 2 for 9, but I'm not really too worried about it. I wanted to see how he played with the other guys. And I actually thought he moved around really well, especially defensively. Hit the boards, had like 7 of them. His playmaking, which I think is an underrated aspect. He was able to get guys some clean looks. So I'm actually kind of encouraged to see that. But I just wanted to say something that really pisses me off, really. Like, just really irks me.
What's that?
Their defense or lack thereof in IQ sometimes. Like, I want to jump off a bridge. This team, honestly, I'm not even kidding. This is not me trying to be a homer or anything. This team could easily be like 11-2 right now. I'm not even kidding. Like, you talk about the collapse against Chicago, the 2 collapses against Detroit.
Well, those third quarters where they've been outscored, on average by 12 points.
So infuriating. Yo, I'm trying to tell you, and it's the way it's happening. Because if you're paying attention, like last night, and I'm not going to stay too long, I'm watching Nicholas Batum. Okay, you ran him off the three-point line. Great. That's what he does. Great. Okay, cool. He's driving to the basket baseline. He gets under the basket, like behind the backboard. And I'm like, he has nowhere to go. And he has never in his life had any type of, package where he can hit a reverse layup or anything. Like, maybe since the Obama administration. And I'm watching the guy in the corner come down to help off of Batum and leaving his guy wide open for 3. Like, that's a low IQ. Like, you have to know who you're playing And too often, I'm watching John Collins, who doesn't have a midi bag, and you're on his pump fake, you're biting. Like, it's the know your personnel type of stuff that's really.
Yeah, and by the way,
Batum
was
to do that.
Batum was literally here, so it's not like we're that far off from Batum being a Sixer.
You know what these guys do.
Yep, I hear you, Stan. Appreciate the call, Stan.
He's my favorite basketball caller
the best.
to this station.
By the way, we will always have the Batum game.
We will.
That was one of the most absurd things that I'd ever seen. When Nicholas Batum in the playoffs just put the Sixers on his back.
And then what happened in the did the coach sort of forget him a little bit?
Wow.
No, he's Nicholas Batum. That's what
he's a 70-year-old Frenchman. He's not going to do that consistently in the postseason.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's what happened. He's Nicholas Batum.
Just saying.
There's a rap line about the guy being in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's right. Why the bleep Batum in? That's a great dude. That's a good poll, man.
That's who he turned back into.
That was about Doc Rivers.
But we'll always have Miami.
That rap was about Doc Rivers, and it was actually very well done.
Yeah, well.
You don't know basketball.
All right, coming up next. We do our second opinion segment 2 days after every Eagles game. Now that we thought a little bit more, I thought a lot yesterday on my walk about how a guy unretired, and now all of a sudden there's a lot of leaks.
It's not a shocker. Not a shocker.
Yeah.
It's in the look. It's
tinfoilish.
No, it's not tinfoilish. Not based on what we've known before.
Saran wrap, maybe.
But the second opinion segment is about the game itself.
I could never use that.
We get into that coming up next. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. There for Johnny Marks, Middays with Marks, reliable. The show that you trust.
Did he write that himself?
I don't know.
Yes.
But what about Bill Colarulo? Coming up later on this hour, we will address something that Bill Colarulo said on Unfiltered yesterday.
Yeah.
That I just could not believe, but I also can believe considering the Sunday dinners.
But maybe you can't when you talk to someone who is a witness.
Oh.
I don't know.
All right, before we get the second opinion segment, what the hell you...
Got to ask you a question.
Why
Connor, I need you to look up.
What'd I do? Oh, you got a basket.
It's one of the old egg crates.
Yeah.
No.
I think of it as a Home Depot basket.
Okay, this is what, in today's edition of I'm Too Old compared to you punks, this is a milk crate.
Milk crate.
Okay?
All right.
They did
Wawa.
the challenge back in the day.
From our friends at Wawa.
Yeah.
Did you ever have these in your dorm room?
Not in my dorm room, no.
Okay. Every
Had
guy
them in my garage in my parents'
I would
house.
tell you that 75, 80% of guys my age, this was in our dorm room. And we made entertainment centers or bookcases out of them.
Oh, nice.
You'd run a piece of wire between them, and you'd have multiple milk crates, and you'd put your books in it.
Sure.
Put your boom box in it.
Nice.
Put your CDs in them. That's what we used as entertainment centers back in the dorms.
Was this before or after you guys fought the British?
We had electricity, so I know, Connor, there was electricity in the room.
Now,
considering they have torn down Peabody Hall.
Now, my first thought when you show me that,
You were looking at me carrying it through like, what
I
are
was
you
wondering
doing?
why you were.
You were
carrying
thinking
it.
I was taking them home?
Yes, because you've done that.
No, my wife would throw them out.
My first thought, Toy Story.
Oh, okay.
In the first Toy Story, Woody was stuck underneath one of those, and Buzz had to push the toolbox off the top so that Woody could get out. That was when they were trying to escape Sid's house. Now, Cold Word 07 chimes in with a great first thought when he sees one of those basketball hoops.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
And I know.
By the way, there are some I see on my way down to Temple.
Yeah, no, 50. It is probably 18th and Diamond. There's one.
You can
I
see
played
it.
on it.
Did you really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I was friends with my neighbors. Like
There you
I
go.
didn't care if you were a student or not. Like
You were friends with the neighbors.
I was friends with my neighbors, and I lived my junior year 15th and Diamond, and 3 blocks down 18th and Diamond. There was the post, and they drilled in one of those crates, and it was kids. It was
There you go.
It was anybody that lived there would play on it, and I would be like, oh, pass me the rock. I loved my neighbors.
Yeah,
I loved
throw up a
meeting
brick
people.
and get out of there.
There you go.
That's pretty much how it worked. All right, time now for our second opinion segment.
You might not always agree with what you hear. Sometimes you need a second opinion. Brought to you by the consultants in medical oncology and hematology.
Tell us about them, Johnny.
I was just over there to see them yesterday. It was great to see Dr. Sprandio and start the process of my quarterly testing. They're the best. You get a cancer diagnosis in your family, CMOH.org.
All right, second opinion segment. Now that you slept on it a little bit longer, had more time to think about what was going on in that game. Look, the Eagles' defense being dominant, we know that that's been the biggest story. But one of the things that I was really happy with was seeing another step forward for members of the secondary. We gave Adoree Jackson his love yesterday. But how about also Drew Makuba and Reed Blankenship, who I thought have not been stellar this year? And I expected a bit of a fall off. You guys know how I feel about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And you're also going to a rookie in Drew Makuba who's trying to figure out this, the system. We have not heard his name mentioned recently, which is a good thing, right? When you're a player on defense, unless you're making a spectacular play, when your name is not mentioned, that's a good sign. And we have not really heard their names mentioned recently. Some open field tackles that were missed against Jahmyr Gibbs, but that happens every week. So I'm also happy to see sort of the improvement with members of the safety position. And, of course, that goes in hand with the edge rusher position. What do you got?
It's the Nick Sirianni game day decisions are crazy to me. And watching again and then being able to listen to some of the analysis of it, including Chris Collinsworth, who I didn't hear, with his decision not to punt that ball. It was the stupidest thing. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. And to me, this is 2 games in a 6-day period where inexplicable decisions are being made in game. I know the Eagles have a coach or somebody on the staff who helps Nick Sirianni with this stuff. That coach needs to find his voice because it's ridiculous that we've seen two of those egregious decisions in a 6-day period. I can't believe it. And I thank guys like Chris Collinsworth and them and then all the analysts on ESPN, NFL Live for saying, this is just dumb what was done.
He trusts his guys.
It's so stupid. It's stupid.
And you'll hear that alongside Bill Colarulo in about 20 minutes. He trusts his guys. And, I don't care what the analytics say. You got to have trust in your guys.
Yeah, don't care what the analytics say. They're obsessed with analytics in that building. They're obsessed with analytics.
What do you got?
This isn't a second opinion. It's a first opinion that got overshadowed by the bigger topics. Special teams were awesome on Sunday night.
They were. Jake Elliott, man, that's a big night for him.
Not just
considering
him.
The wind.
It felt like every single time you punted to try and flip field position or get out of your own end, not only did Braden Mann get good ones down there was somebody on Lions returners immediately.
Yeah.
And we've seen them be rough in kick coverage at points this year, but man, did Michael Clay's unit have a great night.
Except one guy, Trot Jr.
Yeah,
with a couple penalties.
But you know what? Good bounce back for Keely Ringo.
Keely Ringo, good bounce back.
He had a great bounce
Even
back
though he
game
ran
on special
into,
teams.
Yeah, but he ran into, what's his name? On the last, the punt that ended up going out of bounds.
Yeah.
That everything. He runs into his own player.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
No, you
Can't be doing that.
Better bounce back, though. All right, tell us one more time about CMOH, Johnny.
They're the best. Dr. Sprandio, you're awesome. 3, you got to check these people out. They are amazing. 3 ways. The staff, the nurses, the doctors, they're all tremendous. CMOH.org.
And we did not do today's headlines, which would have been brought to us by who, Connor?
Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. So if maybe your teammate ran into you in a Sunday night football game, or if you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com.
Does also work if you get sick eating a churro off the floor?
No, they do not cover
they will
that.
not. They're not going to cover you for stupidity. They're not. They're just going to say, that's just dumb.
All right, coming up next, a lot of questions about the offense. A lot of questions about the drama. Obviously, a lot of certainties with the Eagles' defense, but one question is, can they truly overcome the offense for 3 to 4 playoff games? We talk about it all with our man Jeff McClain, who joins us next for his weekly Tuesday hit. Also, because it's a Tuesday, don't forget Amy Fadul for the entire 9 o'clock hour today here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Johnson potentially heading to IR. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are sitting at 8-2 through Week 11 in the NFL. But it was a rough Monday as it was announced that Lane Johnson has a Liz Frank sprain. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks and could be heading on to injured reserve as a result. Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday, and he talked about Johnson's injury.
We'll see with Lane. I know that he'll do everything he can do to get back as quick as he possibly can and have a lot of confidence in Pryor and Fred. I think they've played good football, when they've been able to go in and play.
So he believes in the backups with neither Fred nor Matt Pryor are really Lane Johnson. So we'll keep an eye on that closely. We'll also keep an eye on the drama coming out of NovaCare because there's reports that there's growing frustration inside the organization with quarterback Jalen Hurts. We'll keep an eye on that as it's now officially Dallas week. Cowboys beat the Raiders last night on Monday Night Football, and they'll play the Birds this Sunday. Sixers had a nice comeback win over the Clippers, 110-108 last night. Paul George made his season debut, 9 points in 21 minutes. Tyrese Maxey, 39 points in the game for him. Sixers play the Raptors on Wednesday. It's an off night in Philly sports tonight. Jeff McClain of The Inquirer joins us coming up next. This update is brought to you by Audible. Stuck in traffic? Audible's romance collection will have you falling fast in the slow lane. Satisfy every side of you with rom-coms, romantasy, and the really steamy stuff. Listen free with a 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Connor Thomas for your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
columnist. Go to inquirer.com/sports. Our man Jeff McClain joins us now. Jeff, before we get into the drama, I want to do the opposite of last week. We didn't get to the defense till the very end. So let's start with the defense, Jeff. Let's start with
which drama are we talking about?
I'll let you pick. You can be the guy that picks whatever drama. But let's start with the defense. Incredible performance again against the Detroit Lions, holding them to just 9 points. When you see the way the Eagles' offense is playing, do you still feel comfortable saying, man, this defense can win them any game against any team from now until hopefully the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't know about any team or any game, but it certainly can get them to pretty damn far. So, and I understand in this city it's not good enough. You got to win the Super Bowl now. But it's pretty good, and obviously they've beaten two good teams these last 2 weeks, and they went out in Green Bay and won on the road, and then they won against the Lions on a short week after traveling against good offenses. That defensive line is playing really well, and they did so against good, above-average offensive lines. So, we'll see how it plays out. It wasn't perfect, right? And this isn't the entire season. This is just the last 2 games. Although you started seeing it trending in the right direction after that disaster up in New York. But, they're playing really well.
Jeff, you are a guy, and part of the reason I love reading your work is because you are very much in the moment. You're not writing about comparison to last year. You're writing about what is going on at the time. We had a conversation this morning. How much do you, just as when you analyze football teams and everything, do you take pedigree and what's been accomplished in the past into consideration when you're thinking they're going to get this stuff fixed?
Yeah, I think that can be brought into the equation because, right, a lot of people on this team won a Super Bowl, and starting with the head coach, right? So, and a lot of them were on the 2022 team that went there, and a lot of these guys have been on just winning teams since 2021. So, and Nick brought this up after the game. I assume you're talking about the quote when he was saying now. He's watching games, and it seemed like some of the teams are just waiting to lose, whereas if the Eagles, his players, he believes are just waiting to win.
Exactly.
And I think there's some truth to that. Maybe it's a little bit of anecdotal, and obviously he came out on the winning side, so you could say that. They have lost twice this year, and they have lost at various times over the years. So, it's not perfect, but I think there's something to be said for that. It's hard to quantify, but, the results speak for themselves.
All right, so let's talk about some of the drama, because now all of a sudden it seems like attention is being turned toward the quarterback. I'm not asking you to report on anything specific, Jeff, but what I'm going to ask you is, with all this drama, because we know the tweets from AJ, the Twitch from AJ, and now there's stuff on Jalen Hurts, is there enough sort of under the surface that's not necessarily public that should cause concern for Eagles fans when you still know that they are 8-2 and they find ways to overcome regardless what we want to talk about?
Yeah, look, again, when it's talking about Jalen, I just reported or just kind of gave a summation of what I thought A.J. Brown's problem was last week in my podcast, and kind of came to the conclusion that I think it's probably it's everything. Clearly, right, when you talk about it, it can't be just one thing. But it can be one thing more than another. And my conclusion was that, based upon what I know, my reporting, or just other people involved in the whole the whole drama, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, is that it's Jalen and how he plays the position, and and I'll just kind of end it there. But that being said, it's not like he's not looking at himself and looking at other people, or it's not that, look, again, when it comes to quarterback, he has a lot on his plate. He has a lot on his shoulder. He's under more pressure than anybody in that building, save for probably Nick Sirianni, as I said in the podcast. So when you are writing about the quarterback, you have to take that all into context, right? And, Yeah, I mean, I've reported about this before 2 years ago. Jalen, there was definitely issues with him, with certain guys in the locker room, and with certain, I guess maybe the way that he was kind of handling things. They wanted him to kind of step up a little more in how he kind of handles things. Sometimes when it comes to football, when it comes to kind of building relationships, and for the most part, I was told he very much did that last year. And look, he is who he is, right? We know he is a stoic. We know that he kind of is guarded, and maybe sometimes that makes it difficult. But I think probably more than anything, it's just kind of the football part of it, and you see it out there on the field at times. He can be trigger shy, and they're seeing a lot of zones, and I think those give him trouble at times. That being said, I don't know if the scheme is giving him all the answers that he needs to, and I felt that ever since he's come into this offense for the most part, that it's not always there for him, especially whatever they've improved the blitz, whatever, and then the play calling now with Kevin Patul, I think everyone can agree it's not great, and then the one thing I want to add into this, and I think I haven't heard enough of this, and when you watch the film. Is the talent there? Everyone keeps talking about 10 or 11 starters returning, but I don't know, are like guys just slipping just a touch at every position or more positions than most? And is that affecting the overall functionality of the offense? So, look, I understand the questions about the quarterback, but I think you have to put everything in perspective when you are talking about him.
You have seen teams go off the rails. You've seen teams fix their problems. When you look at the makeup of the 2025 Eagles, are you of the belief that this is a team that has the internal makeup to put this stuff aside and to fix these things, the football stuff and the non-football stuff?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I don't know how much of it is, I like to talk about the football part of it, and I think more than anything, that is a big part of it. But, there's also just kind of like communication and getting to the bottom of it and trying to solve it. And that's all part of it. But, look, I mean, I understand. I don't think the Vikings were anything great, but that's a good defense, and that's a good defensive coordinator. And Jalen in that second half in that game was perfect, right? It wasn't that very long ago. And then against the Giants, I thought he executed what they wanted to do. Not a great defense, but they were able to run the ball. It's been pretty bad these last two games. But, they still found a way to win. And Jalen then turned the ball over, and that gets back to Nick's philosophy and the kind of grounded out way that he kind of calls the game. And look, it's not aesthetically pleasing. I get it, but they're 8-2, and I mean with 2 more wins, considering what happens with other teams, it may take 3 wins now that the Cowboys won last night, but. They could have the NFC clinched pretty quickly. It's obviously that number 1 seed is important, but right now they're actually sitting atop the NFC. So I guess I'm looking at it more from the glass is half full part of it, which a lot of people would say is not how not typically my personality. But I think I do think Nick and I do think a lot of these players and his coaching staff deserve the benefit of the doubt for a little bit.
I'm curious because you're obviously entrenched with this team and you know a lot about the inner workings of this football team. I'm sure you see it on social media. There are a lot of people that say that a lot of the drama is media driven, or we just make it seem worse than it actually is, or let's just choose to ignore it because they're 8-2, which I believe that last one makes sense. They're 8-2. They find ways to overcome it. So I will ask you, Jeff, with all the drama that there is it so drastic to the point where it needs to get fixed as soon as possible? Or do you think the drama is a little overblown and you think they'll be fine moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely overblown. Yeah. I mean, look, I did a lot of digging in last week just after the whole A.J. Brown thing, and it was something they had to deal with. It was not business as usual down there, even though Nick says it was, but it's nowhere near inside what it is on the outside. And I think that this, honestly, I really haven't been paying attention with what's just chatter has been going out there with Jalen Hurts because, I know what I know about the whole Jalen Hurts situation, and I feel like I have a better handle on anyone in the media, to be quite frankly. So if I haven't really come out and reported anything, I just don't think it. I don't think it has risen to the level that I guess it sounds like you guys are talking about. As I said in my podcast, go listen to it, Uncovering the Birds. I mean, like, I do feel like it's, Jalen's a big part of what, how guys are viewing what's wrong with the offense. Absolutely. He's a quarterback, though. That's all part of it as well. I do want to throw in there real quick, not to just change speeds on you. I take back a little bit of what I said about whether this team can get there, because if Lane Johnson is done for the season,
right
now they're saying 4 to 6 weeks, but from what I understand is he has to have the doctor still look at his he can't get X-rays until his inflammation is down. If he needs surgery, that means the season is over, and we all know when Lane's not in there what happens to this team typically. And I'm not taking anything away from Fred Johnson and what he's done, but
right.
That would be pretty big major reason for concern. Cam Jurgens left the game early last week, and he's been playing through injury. So I don't know how much of a downgrade that's been with Brett Toth, who's kind of stepped in and done the job pretty good. But when every team that I've covered in this, every Eagles team that I've covered that has not performed well, or when things have gone downhill, it's almost always because the offensive line has suffered multiple major injuries. Obviously, they got through the one in 2017 with Jason Peters, but that was just one spot, and they were so strong at the other 4 that they were able to account for that. But keep an eye on this Lane Johnson thing.
Jeff, listen, man,
great job, Jeff.
You're the best, which is why, what you said about yourself, it's why we have you on every single week.
And listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
it's
Uncovering
really
the Birds.
Stuff.
It's tremendous. We appreciate your time as always, brother, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
There he is, Jeff McClain on the Comcast Business Hotline. Check out his work on the Inquirer and Inquirer.com. I love that he gave himself a little pat on the back.
Jeff McClain chest day.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's done pretty well in his.
He's great.
Again, he is voted by his peers the top beat writer in the NFL.
Yeah,
by his peers, not by himself.
And now look, what you heard him say, much more overblown on the outside than the inside. Jeff McClain, a guy that a lot of people say, oh, he hates the team. Well, if he says that, then maybe everybody should listen to Jeff McClain and say, oh, okay. Thanks, Jeff. Right? If he's the one that's saying it, the guy that a lot of people think hates the Eagles, then that should go a long way for people.
It should.
All right, coming up next. Was the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 actually the right move? There are 2 people that I know that think so. One of them's the head coach.
Is the other one related?
It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic. 8:42 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic on this Tuesday morning. Don't forget Amy Fadul with us for the entire 9 o'clock hour today. And special thanks to Jeff McClain for joining us in the previous segment, talking about how the drama is overblown and he's not necessarily worried about it. He thinks it needs to get worked on, but not something where it's like teetering on falling apart.
He absolutely squashed that.
Good.
Well, I mean, it's good. Well, it's good because I'll tell you this. I trust Jeff.
Yes.
But somebody, just to make it clear, because I've got some people already on social media doing like, see, Jeff McClain just squashed the Derek Gunn. Somebody told that to Derek Gunn.
Right.
I assure you his integrity is beyond reproach. So somebody told that to Derek Gunn.
But it could be one person.
But to me, that's the thing. It could be a single person. It can be because Jeff believes it's absolutely overblown.
Right. Like the thing with Wentz, like the pushback that there's a couple things from D, and I'm not pushing back on his reporting.
No, not at all.
It's him sort of ad-libbing the Carson Wentz part, which I think a lot of people took exception with. Carson Wentz had many people that were like, this guy's not a good dude. Yeah. Like many people. Aguilar, Alshon Jeffrey, Darren Sproles.
But watch Devontae, and I was watching for something after the just throw the damn ball the other night, and I took notes of it twice, that Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith on the sideline. After sequences of plays, Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith, there were 2 consecutive times where the Eagles had a failed series.
Sure.
Huddled up.
Yeah.
Talking. AJ?
What are you seeing out there?
AJ over.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying is one of the things you're trying to do is you're trying to collaborate, trying to figure out what is. AJ over here sort of watching. Now, I'm not saying he's not doing something productive, but he's on his there.
Yeah.
And here's Devontae finding Jalen.
Sure.
To chat.
And Jeff said communication, things to work on, but not enough where it's like, all right, this is about to collapse.
Yeah, and the AJ standing somewhere else thing, he was reading a book on the sideline during the Super Bowl winning season.
Because I will continue, and I love A.J. Brown's game. I love it.
Yeah.
But A.J. Brown's about A.J. Brown first. It's about A.J. Brown first. His actions show it. He's about what he has to be heard. He has to be seen. He has to be talked about. It's what he's about. It's why he's talked about it with Mike Sealski in a great piece from a year ago about how his social media has caused him mental anguish and things like that. Well, I mean, it is who he is.
So Nick Sirianni, 4th and 1, we all know, 29-yard line, they go for it. I predicted correctly what the answer would be on this show yesterday, knowing that he was going to speak in the 3 o'clock hour, that he would say something to the extent of, well, you got to have trust in your guys. You got to have faith in your guys. Analytics did not back that play call.
Not at all.
Right? I believe it was Tim McManus who asked specifically, hey, how do you balance the use of analytics and also the use of your own feel, which I do believe the best coaches can do that, right?
Okay.
They don't just live and die by what a computer tells them. This went against the computer. Nick Sirianni had faith in his guys. Here he is talking about.
It always starts with the players and the play that you're calling. First, do you have faith in the players that you have? The analytics can say what it wants, but if you don't have faith in the players to go execute it, that doesn't give you a lot of confidence. So then what play do you have, the players that you have, and then you do it. Analytics is a piece of the puzzle. Your past successes, the league studies that you do, all these things play into that. I love our process. That doesn't, just because you have a great process doesn't automatically mean that you're going to convert every 4th down. I completely understand that. We've got a great process with our coaches, great process figuring out how we go about attacking there and when we go about going for it. Ultimately, always I have to make those tough calls, be able to have that conviction again, because when you don't convert on 4th down, it is always going to be on you as the head coach because you ultimately made that decision. And you're not going to get a lot of praise when you get it on 4th down, like, coach, great job on that decision. That just doesn't go that way. And that's okay. So you have to have major conviction within yourself, understanding that there's going to be major criticisms when you don't get it, and there's not a lot of points that are given to you when you do get it. And so you have to have a major process that you go through to put yourself in a position where you can have major conviction when you make those decisions and fully accept all the criticism that happen.
Blah, blah, blah.
Here's the deal. Regardless, whether you have major conviction, whether you get credit or don't get credit, how many times in sports have we said that was a bad decision, but it worked, right? Or the old line from Major League, great catch, don't ever do it again, right? With Willie Mays Hayes. Like, yeah, if they got the first down, wow, it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
But, man, what if it didn't? And, well, in this past case against the Detroit Lions, it didn't. Now, Bill Colarulo, the host of Unfiltered, stood by Nick Sirianni.
I did not have a problem with going for it there, and I'm going to tell you why I didn't have a problem. What do you think is more likely? That they would be able to stop the tush-push on back-to-back plays that would have pretty much ended the game if you picked up the first down? Or is it more likely that maybe you have a bad punt, maybe the punt gets blocked, maybe the Lions have a good punt return? I just think that you went all in there and said, I'm going to pick up this first down. We believe in our offensive line on the tush push. I get that Cam Jurgens wasn't in there, but guess what? Brett Toth has been in there for a couple of weeks now, and you haven't had that many issues running the tush push. That is what you are built around. That is the very essence of this Eagles offense. The tush push is the one thing you can hang your hat on as saying that they do extremely well. And I get last night it got stopped. But to think that the Lions are going to stop you on back-to-back tush pushes, I feel like the likelihood of that is less than even getting a blocked punt in that situation.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So real quick, because I know you were a witness. Real quick.
So Bill said he agreed at the time and then agreed the next day.
So for Bill to say, what if the punt got blocked?
Seriously?
What if this happened? What if that happened? Well, I can say, well, what if the Eagles got stopped?
I got it better for you.
And they did.
What percentage of punts get blocked? What percentage of punts get blocked? Do you know that of the amount of punts that get blocked, less than 1%?
I did not know that.
Now, how about how many stops from 4th and 1 get stopped? It's plenty.
Yeah.
Like exponentially more. So that makes no sense. But Bill, the only problem is with this, when you brought this up and we hear that, is I sat next to Bill.
Uh-oh.
At the game in real time. Now, instinctively, I will give you that Bill did want to, instinctively in the conversations that go on, he was like, he understood that they were going for it again. I said, what are they doing? Andrew Pacheco, sitting to the left of him, said, look, the right thing to do here is to punt. And even afterwards, when we were discussing it, the right thing to do is to punt. And I know that Bill said, I know that. That's the right thing's to punt. So I don't know.
Well, he'll tell you that the right thing because of analytics was to punt. But
he wasn't saying that,
but
though.
Bill is a trust your guys guy.
Yes,
Just like Nick Sirianni is.
And he did say in the conversation regarding the play, Bill did say at the time, I can confirm, well, he's going to say, I trust these guys, this is what we do and everything. But Bill definitely admitted that it wasn't smart. So
my thing is with Bill's reasoning, all these things could have gone wrong on a punt attempt, but I can say the exact same thing. Like all these things could go wrong on the tush push attempt, and I'm not just saying that because I know the result that they got stopped. Botch a snap, you get stopped. You can have an offsides or a false start, then you're punting anyway. Like
that's absolutely crazy. It's almost as crazy as Nick Sirianni and his thing trying to justify it, saying that boom,
Yeah.
NFL teams convert 2 out of 3 4th and 1s.
It didn't work.
So 2 out of 3 times they convert on a 4th and 1. That means 1/3 of the time they're stopped. The odds are much, much worse going for it in that situation than worrying about a punt being blocked.
By the way, with all due respect to Brett Toth, like, are we really?
And by the way, Brett Toth and Lane Johnson being out.
Yeah.
Also, let's not forget that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. All right, coming up next, Amy Fadul with us for the remainder of the show. We'll ask her the questions about the Eagles, and we'll update you on the poll. How do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Ignore it, because the defense will win, expect it to get better, or this will hold us back? We ask Amy that next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Some more concern on Lane. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are 8-2, but it was rough Monday news day yesterday as it was announced that Lane Johnson has a Liz Frank sprain. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, but we just talked to Jeff McClain of the Inquirer, who said he's not out of the woods yet. There has to be more testing done to see the extent of Lane's injury. We'll be watching that closely as the weeks go on. Not only is that a big loss for the offensive line, however long Lane is out, there have also been reports that there's growing frustration inside the organization with quarterback Jalen Hurts. Nick Sirianni talked about his quarterback yesterday.
I think that through this little winning streak that we have going on right now, he just continues to find ways to put us in positions to succeed. But we know as an offense, we want to continue to get better. We have a long way to go, and there's a lot of opportunities for us to get better.
It's now officially Dallas week. Cowboys beat the Raiders last night on Monday Night Football. They'll welcome the Birds this Sunday to Jerry World. The Sixers had a nice comeback win over the Clippers last night, 110-108. Paul George made his season debut. He scored 9 points in 21 minutes. Tyrese Maxey, 39 points in the game, leading all scorers. The Sixers will play the Raptors on Wednesday, but it's an off night in Philly sports tonight. It's not an off day for Amy Fanul. She joins the guys coming up next. She'll be with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Join Bill Colarulo this Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. at the Green Parrot for the Ultra Access Sixers Watch Party. $3.50 Ultras and a chance to score a Sixers suite experience with Bill. Sponsored by Michelob Ultra. Please enjoy responsibly. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade Salciunas, 6 to 10 a.m. Middays with Marks, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Unfiltered from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The best sports talk for the best sports fans in the world. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and I got to tell you about my friends at Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Now, I've bought a lot of cars in my life, but I recently just got an awesome Jeep 4xe from Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and it was the easiest thing I've ever done. I found the car that I wanted online. I put in an inquiry, and within minutes, the owner of the dealership, my man Ross, called me to go over everything, presented the best deal, and explained to me all the different rebates they had, gave me lease options, finance options. It was so easy. And then I went into the
during the commercial break. Welcome in, Amy Fadul.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
Not
Here.
that
Good morning.
Amy's here.
Hello,
That's not
Amy.
egregious.
No, that's a wonderful thing. As you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WP and HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. I just wanted to get that out of the way because we need a few minutes on this. I should have known.
Yeah, honestly, you should have.
The man that has been to the Reading Terminal Market now twice in his entire life.
Who hadn't gone till, the last 12
when did
months?
you go?
It was this summer was the first time I went.
All right,
That's
first
amazing.
time. And you live in the city, so it's not like
I do.
You live in Jersey. You grew up in Jersey, but
you live in the city and have lived in the city for a while.
My
Like
daughter
8
lives
years
in the
now?
city. She goes 4 times a month.
Connor Thomas just told us during the commercial break that he has never went to the Palestra.
That is egregious.
That is terrible. And you're a sportsman.
Yeah.
It is the
Like, it's terrible.
cathedral of basketball.
Do you understand that
It's literally a museum around it.
last night was the second annual shootout with Salciunas. I host Knockout during halftime of a Big Five game. It was great.
It was a great game, by the
with
way,
Penn
too.
St. Awesome, great game last night. And there was a lot of people there. I told you, Coach Brown, Brett Brown was there last night. The Gov, good to see Ed Rendell there yesterday.
Because Brett Brown's son Sam plays for Penn, for those who don't know.
Fran Dunphy was there. There's a lot of people there yesterday. A lot of former players from the Big Five that were there last night. And I talked to somebody that was wearing a Georgetown Iverson jersey.
Oh.
And I asked him, I said, hey, are you just wearing that because you're from Philadelphia, you rep Iverson? He goes, no, I'm not from the area, but I wanted to experience a Big Five basketball game at the Palestra.
At the Palestra.
That's awesome.
So somebody,
Which everybody should do.
So somebody educated that man.
Somebody from out of town drove to Philadelphia, booked a hotel to go to the Palestra, and you've never gone?
I just don't understand. It is the cathedral of basketball.
I'm busy.
No, you're not.
Busy.
I'm busy.
Dude,
I got
The garage will still exist if you miss one day.
And you can go to garage afterwards. You've been to the amount of places you
can
go.
go to the new deck right down the road.
All the time.
Yes, love
Come on.
That's a good
I'm waiting for
time.
someone to invite me. No one
Okay,
ever
where we're
invited me.
going. We'll find. That's happening.
We are going to a game
It's
at the
the best.
Palestra.
It's the best.
I'll try. Maybe there's a matinee game that we'll go to.
That sounds nice. An early bird special. I'm in.
You need to walk around because on the outside of it, in the concourse, it's basically a museum.
It is a museum.
Now, what I will tell you, nice of them to have
like basketball.
recently
Can't
allowed
smell.
alcohol sales, which is big. So that's
they got
even
beer?
another,
Look how Amy
that's
just
even
lit
another
up.
reason for
Recently
you to go.
allowed. I like that's a very important
they
thing.
didn't have it was like
Yes.
2 years
No.
ago, right?
You could have them. People had them.
Yeah, people had them. They
At
didn't really.
times.
They didn't really frisk
In
it.
certain parts.
right.
Now, too, is that you guys, though, being the brats you are, young brats, you didn't get to go and throw streamers at the Big Five games.
I have.
You've
Yeah,
gotten
no,
to do
Sean's
that?
done that.
Or for the tournament? You mean down at the?
No, at the before they got rid of it.
The old
before
school
they-
doubleheaders, streamers,
awesome.
rollouts.
was the
I
best.
when I lived in Philadelphia, did go to the Palestra during my time living in the city of
No,
Philadelphia.
here's your medal.
I also went to Temple, so I would go to the Temple
There you
Penn
go.
games,
Which is
and-
amazing.
and throw
Until
them.
Villanova killed it all
Yes, how dare they?
Why did they kill it all?
because they killed the tradition. Every Big Five game was played at the Palestra.
Oh, I know that.
Till
But I love that you
Villanova.
believe that Rolly Massimino
yeah,
killed it.
Villanova.
You know
killed
who
it.
the original architect that wanted to kill it? John Chaney.
No, I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Well, he didn't though.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't though.
A lot of those guys when they were rolling, when Temple was rolling. 'Cause
Right.
let's face it, Temple was rolling.
Oh yeah.
Cheney's like, what? He's
Why
trying
are
to
we
play
giving
the
up a home
hardest.
game?
He's trying to play the hardest schedule. I was talking to Mark Jackson about this. The schedule that those guys used to play, it was like
crazy.
whoever is in the top 20, put them on our schedule. Let's do it. It was out of control. Yeah, no, but those guys, Villanova and Temple, were rolling, so they were both like, let's go ahead and.
Bottom line is, Connor, we have to go. As John says, it smells like basketball. Like it's a basketball gym with
you
stands.
just walk in
Like
and it's
not
just like
with all
feels
due
it.
respect to the Exmo, right? Like the Exmo is like a circus, right? Like or any big arena is. There's more than just basketball.
And it's built in a way that the sound, the acoustics is amazing.
Oh yeah.
The squeaking of
squeak,
sneakers
yeah.
at the Palestra is
It's unlike any.
it's
It's unlike any
unbelievable.
place.
So
It's-
where
it's
our
unreal.
table was set up, because we had people register, we're not in the game. I kept on sneaking away to watch the game. But
look at it.
we were on that outer bowl that John was talking about where it's kind of like a museum. You could hear the squeaking of the shoes from there over the PA and everything. Quick, quick, quick. Yeah,
It's awesome.
We got to.
Oh, yeah.
It's just awesome.
All right, Amy. Eagles. Offense is really fun.
Come on, Amy.
I have a question that
You didn't love the 6-0?
No.
Watched
How windy was it, Amy?
Watched with my own eyeballs and thought, this is fun.
Yeah, it wasn't fun at all. But I have a question for the audience, and we actually have a Twitter poll up and running, which we rarely do on the show. If you can have the update for us, Connor, that would be great. Amy, how do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? I've come up with 3 options.
One eye closed.
Ignore it because you know the defense will legitimately put you in a position to win, and you just need a couple points. Expect it to get better because right around this time last year, we were having a lot of conversations about the passing offense, or that you think it will hold them back. So when you watch the offense, what is sort of the overall feel that you get when you view them?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the head in the sand or look the other way. Or don't look behind this curtain over here. This is not, you don't want to see this. Let's look at this shiny object over here. This is the fun part. The old adage obviously will always ring true in the fact that defense does win championships because it really does. But lost in that is that you have to score some freaking points.
Right.
And you have to have some semblance of an identity. And I think that's where, to me, if you're just going to churn it out and it's always going to be a 13-3, 13-6, 13-9, 16-9 type of win, that's one thing if the offense had a look. It doesn't have a look. It's one thing to have an offense that's just not, listen, we just don't have the horses. Okay, let's go back to that. People always talk about, look at the Ravens team back in, 2000, that they they didn't score any touchdowns.
They didn't have A.J. Brown.
They had Trent Dilfer, and I will give somebody $1,000 if they can name the 3 receivers that were on that team. You won't be able to do it because it's just without looking it up. There's no way because they were unremarkable, and that doesn't mean that it didn't work for them.
Lewis is a good running back.
He was.
Oh no, he was great. Jamal Lewis was great.
Jamal Lewis.
He was just done.
And that was their identity. That ground and pound, that old school AFC North, the black and blue division, right? They called it. You had Jerome Bettis, that kind of vibe. Fine, that worked for them because they had an elite defense, which the Eagles do. But they had some semblance of whatever their sad offense was for the Ravens.
I'm upset that I can't.
Think about it.
I can only remember one because I worked with him at ESPN.
There you go. Who was
Q.
it? Oh, there you go.
Kadri Ismail.
Okay.
Other than that, I can't guess. I couldn't give you
but that's the thing.
One other receiver off that team.
Your leading receiver was Shannon Sharp at tight end.
Okay.
Ismail,
not the wide receivers,
This
though.
is Shannon Sharp, the Ravens Shannon Sharp,
Yeah,
not
this is
Broncos.
Ravens.
Travis Taylor was
my
the second
gosh.
leading receiver with 276 yards.
That's his second leading receiver.
In 9 games.
Perfect. Who was the third?
Brandon Stokely.
Oh my gosh.
184
Bronco,
total
right?
yards.
How
he
much?
played 7 games, 184 total receiving yards.
But their offense was inept.
It was
and in
inept.
25 years, we will absolutely still be able to name A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Well, they had Jermaine Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Jermaine Lewis, yes, okay.
The other Lewis.
Yes.
The other Lewis.
Well, he didn't go to prison.
Patrick Johnson.
Neither did Ray.
Yeah, it's
Not the Eagles special
Wow,
teams.
he's old now.
Yeah, not
No, yeah. Wow, look at him. But that's the thing. So it's like when people are like, oh, but go back to because I've talked to people like, but the Ravens. I'm like, I understand that. And it was the same thing when you're looking at last year. Oh, but you can't win with just running the game. There was an identity.
Yeah.
There's not an identity with this team. And I know that that's like a buzzword, but for me, that just means consistency. That means some semblance of an organization to your offense, and there isn't. And that's probably the most problematic
The
thing
thing
for
is, for me, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, because we've kind of, like, this topic keeps on popping up, right? Because the Eagles keep on doing nothing offensively. At least last year, you could say, man, Saquon was running for 150. Or you knew in the second half he'd have that 60-yard touchdown run because the opposing defenses were gassed.
They're going to be worn down.
They've not had that this year.
Jamal Lewis, Ray Lewis, Jermaine Lewis.
Yeah, a lot of lose.
All on one team.
All on one team.
Well, we got 17 Jalen's.
We do, and
True.
none of them spell them the same, it seems like now.
Which is fun.
Got all these different spellings.
Yeah, the Jaelan, Jalen, is throwing me off.
So, I mean, that's AE obviously does make that sound.
Yeah, but when I'm tweeting, wow, Jalen Phillips, I have
Listen,
to realize
this
that
is like, if you do it enough, your phone will correct it. It will, and it will correct it.
You're right.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like for a whole year, we all knew how to spell Nnamdi Asamoah.
That's
Does
true.
your phone know how to spell for?
Yes.
Because mine says fur.
Oh.
F-I-R.
Mine-
For whatever
my-
reason, I've
my
never
biggest
bought a
one
fur tree or looked for one.
Is when I really quite type quickly, doesn't it comes out Durant, capital D.
Oh, okay.
I was
see,
like,
you've
okay.
done that
that's-
before.
I don't know why I tweeted about or texted anything about Kevin Durant, but obviously I've used it enough that my phone's like, well, she's just trying to say
Autocorrect.
Durant.
There it is.
Our Twitter poll, Eagles offense ranks 25th in the NFL. How do you choose to view the Eagles offense in order to get you to and win the Super Bowl? 56.5% say they expect it to get better.
Okay.
41.2% say this will hold them back, and just 2.3% choose to ignore it. That's good, though.
I'm proud of the people that there's only 2% that choose to
Yeah,
ignore.
because I think that's realistic, right? You think you want to ignore it, but you can't. It's
Because they
glaring
keep-
you in the
they
face.
keep winning, and that's
Yeah,
why I think
you
people
want to
choose
ignore
to
it.
ignore it.
You want
Yeah.
to, but you know you can't.
All right, coming up next, as Amy's with us for the remainder of the show today, our old buddy D-Gun had some interesting things to say. We will play it for Amy, get her reaction to it, and then we want to hear from you at 610-632-0975. How do you choose to view the Eagles' offense? Ignore it? Expect it to get better? Or that it'll hold the Eagles back? It's Kincade and Salciunas. Amy Fadul with us the remainder of the show, 97.5 The Fanatic. comes to Jalen Hurts. And then I have to ask you guys a question that may be very no fun police.
Uh-oh.
What do we got on the text line?
All right, so we have a texter checking in who's defending Jalen Hurts here a little bit with this, but they say Jacoby Brissett had over 40 completions. Is he better than Hurts all of a sudden? Stats don't win.
I love that. Who was that texter?
Dan from Warminster.
Dan from Warminster. I will buy you a beer someday when I see you.
By the way, congratulations on the record, Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, hell yeah, that was sick.
47 receptions.
So we were watching
completions.
We were watching. I
He's
had
a
that
good
on my
backup.
phone, and I was like, "Oh, that's fun." On a meaningless game that
He's a
meant
good
nothing
backup.
for you.
I mean,
That
to
game
me.
meant nothing.
Yep, it does.
Dude, he threw for 400.
Well, it meant something to the Niners.
52
It did.
yards.
It meant something to them. But Rex Ryan said it's a powder puff game the other day. He was
Yeah.
talking about another game. He was talking about one of these other games, and he goes, "That's a powder puff game."
By the way, what's even more impressive,
You all right?
82.5% completion percentage that game.
Well, when you have 47 of 47.
47 of 57. That's impressive.
And he's not throwing to the guys that Jalen Hurts throws
No.
to. But I love that as like the fact that Connor even has to. It drives me nuts that Connor even has to say, "Here's somebody defending Jalen Hurts."
Right.
Again, the winningest quarterback versus winning teams, minimum of 50 starts since 1950.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like the fact that people have to. Well, I'm going to defend Jalen Hurts. I just say you're stupid.
Well,
you don't have to defend this man. It's just the attacks on him are what's stupid.
People feel the need to defend him because
crazy.
you get reports like this one.
I've been telling you, there's a lot of people in that organization that are frustrated with the quarterback situation right now, but the quarterback understands he has them over a barrel. This is almost Carson Wentz part 2. They're not going to eat this kind of money yet. There's no way they're going to eat this kind of money. Look at the cap hit they took when they got rid of Carson, and look, it took them a couple of years to get back on solid ground again, footing, because they were handcuffed financially because of what they owed, the cap hit they took with Carson Wentz. You got the same scenario here with a bigger volume of money involved here.
What did you make of all that, Amy?
I mean, I understand. And listen, I love D Gunn, and he's very well connected, and he knows a lot of the people that are inside that organization, front office and player-wise and personnel-wise as well. But, yeah, I get what he's saying as far as there's frustration, and there's definitely got to be frustration. I don't think anybody from the outside or the inside can look at how this team is, kind of collectively put together, meaning the offense. It was very, very mindfully put together. You've got 2 number 1 receivers. You've got this elite quarterback that's been in the conversation in the past, recent past, about MVP, has a Super Bowl MVP. What's not working? So I think that there is that collective, like, what's wrong? To take it as far as like a Carson Wentz situation, which I think is, did we pay the wrong guy? I don't think that's
You think the bridge too far.
I think just to feel like I don't think we're there yet. I understand that there's frustration, and I'm sure there's some people that are wondering, like, is he going to be the guy? He's been the guy. Check. But there's got to be that question. You look at it and think, what's gone wrong? What's missing? Because there's clearly something that's been adjusted.
Oh, yeah.
You can't look at this, even from last year. Hell, go even back to the 10-1 year where they started 10-1 and the wheels fell off. He still looked better. That Bills game was incredible before the wheels came off. And so you're wondering, what's wrong? Is it personnel? Is it play calling? Is it both? Is it none of those things? Is it just something going on with Jalen? So I think that's where that rings a lot true to me. I don't think we're at the point of, okay.
No, let's start thinking about what's next, right?
But the reason the Eagles have been so successful recently is because they didn't get trapped like they did before, right? They were always thinking 5 and 6 steps ahead. And that's how they've operated. And that's why they've won. That's why they've been consistently winning. And that's why they've been a playoff team for as long as Nick Sirianni's been the head coach. They don't want to fall into the trap that they did before. And so I think that's just them thinking ahead, like, we need to really keep an eye on this because we don't want it to get to that point.
Fair enough.
It's where it stands. By the way, a little birdie telling me that if you are going to the Eagles game in D.C. on December the 20th, Landover, Maryland, you can expect that most likely that will be getting the afternoon time slot, the 4:30, not the 8 o'clock.
At the Saturday, the 20th game?
Saturday game, that it will most likely get the 4:30 because of the other game that is being played. A buddy of mine, John Maley, was asking me yesterday, who's going to get the matchup? Packers-Bears is the other game.
Yeah, that one's
getting
top.
And that game is going to could be deciding the division.
Yeah,
could be.
that's a big
So
game.
Packers-Bears is most likely going to get that is where the lean is right now. So if you were Eagles fans wondering, do you want to make the trip? That would allow you to drive back that night.
Well, yes, and also you leave now. 'Cause
It's the worst place to get out of ever.
By far.
It's
By far.
I was gonna say
Foxborough. Have you been
New
to
England.
Foxborough? Foxborough's terrible.
how about a couple miles south of us, in Philadelphia?
No. We have
Landover.
the most efficient system compared to
my
Landover.
sister lives in Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia.
Okay.
As a crow flies, it's probably 12 miles away from Landover.
How long?
We left her house to go to a Monday night football game at 8:15, right? 5:30. We missed kickoff.
Oh no.
We were in the parking lot walking up, and I heard it. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
No.
Almost 3 hours because there's one road in. It's in the middle of
Terrible.
nowhere.
And there's like a Ulta beauty strip mall next to it. I mean, it's
that's
bad.
next to it.
Did you go?
That's a.
What do you
not
mean?
next
Did you
to
go
it.
before?
I did. I said I had a coupon. You kidding me?
I've taken the metro there too, and the metro stop is like a little over a mile away. It's just really.
But you'd rather do that.
Of course, I'd
Yeah,
rather
you'd
walk
much
the
rather.
mile.
You'd rather
for
walk
20
a
minutes.
mile and then get out, right?
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next, potentially no fun, please. I have a question that I must ask. All right. Do that on the other side. Also, if you missed it earlier, I called something the quietest return from injury ever. We ask Amy about it next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about my FanDuel Sportsbook app. I love it. FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, is the #1 sportsbook for same-game parlays, and are they fun to pay attention to. From points, rebounds, threes, and assists, FanDuel is the best place to combine your favorite picks into a same-game parlay or track every stat live all in one easy-to-use app. Who knows? Some of you may have been looking at your FanDuel Sportsbook app and found out that Paul George was playing last night. Right now is the perfect time to join, because new customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So bet on the players that you love, the props that you love, the way that you want, or if it's just a game. If you're a first-time user, you just need the bet to hit. So if you think maybe the Sixers win a basketball game, you're not even betting the spread, put the $5 down the money line. If it hits, you get $150. Head to FanDuel.com/Fanatic. That's FanDuel.com/Fanatic to sign up today. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You got to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days at the receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A rough Monday for the Birds. I'm Connor Thomas, and it certainly wasn't because of their record. The Eagles are sitting at 8-2 after their win over the Lions, but they had a rough Monday as it was announced that Lane Johnson has a Liz Frank sprain. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, but Jeff McClain of the Inquirer joined us earlier and said it could be even longer, something to keep an eye on as they determine the time frame for his return. Nick Sirianni talked about the importance of Lane Johnson and how his backups have trust.
We'll see with Lane. I know that he'll do everything he can do to get back as quick as he possibly can and have a lot of confidence in Pryor and Fred. I think they've played good football, when they've been able to go in and play.
Not only is that a big loss for the offensive line, but there have also been reports that there's growing frustration inside the organization with quarterback Jalen Hurts. We'll be keeping an eye on the Eagles closely, especially since it's now officially Dallas week. Cowboys beat the Raiders last night on Monday Night Football. The Birds play them down in Dallas this Sunday. Sixers had a nice comeback win over the Clippers 110-108 last night. Paul George made his season debut, scoring 9 points in 21 minutes. Tyrese Maxey led all scorers with 39. Sixers face the Raptors on Wednesday. It's an off night in Philly sports tonight. Amy Fadul stays with the guys for the rest of the episode, or the show. Why do I say episode? Like it's a podcast. This update's brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Join Philly Sports Trips as the Birds take over Washington on December 20th. Round trip travel, great seats, and the ultimate game day experience with fellow Eagles fans. Spots are limited. Book now at phillysportstrips.com. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
with all due respect to the people that are big fans of wrestling, I think of our friend Haley. With all due
She loves wrestling.
With all due respect, zero interest, but negative, like below zero.
Yep,
no interest. Okay, but last night there was an event in New York. I don't know which one. Somebody tackled somebody, and it was fake. This guy Dominic Mysterio, who Haley's literally
she loves
obsessed
Mysterio.
with, walked over to Cam Scadaboo, who was sitting front row, along with there's a comedian from New York.
Andrew Schultz.
Thank you, Andrew Schultz. And there was other people from New York all sitting around, right? Because they do that. They put the stars on the camera because it makes their product even bigger.
And it's all staged.
Yes. Cam Scadaboo, a part of the act, had to push said wrestler, and then the wrestler pretended to fight back. Now, obviously, he's not actually hitting him.
Correct.
But Cam Scadaboo did actually fall back in his seat. Less than a month after his fractured ankle pointed in a direction that nobody's ankle should ever point, and he's wearing this big boot because he had to get it surgically repaired, and he's not going to be back until some point next year.
And he was on a scooter on Sunday. At the game, he was on a scooter.
If you are New York Giants management and ownership, do you want to see, not that he's like Jackson Dart, but let's face it, they were all scatterbooed up in New York. What is your reaction when you see that video? Are you calling him into the office the next morning like, yo, dude? It's like when Embiid was dancing
optics.
barefoot with Drake when he's been dealing with foot and knee issues.
It's the optics. Like, I don't think he obviously could have injured himself in any way, shape, or form by falling backwards in a chair that was already propped open.
But what if his boot kicks the
I mean, and the chair, look at the chair. It's not a
just
stable
a regular,
chair.
Yeah, it's just a regular old chair.
You know?
I think, but
I'm
the
just
optics,
asking.
the optics of it for me are bigger than the actual repercussions of the possibility.
I'm not saying you can't go.
The optics of you just participating in this, I would have called him in and be like, "Hey, fella,
Hey,
Let's not do
Cam,
this.
we know that you're bigger than life right now.
great."
And Big Dom was there with Coop.
Oh, were they? Did they
They
make
were
the
there.
trip?
Yeah, they were there.
I did not know
Big Dom
that.
and Coop made the trip last night. They were there.
I just side note
With the belt.
I love that professional athletes who are very good at whatever sport they play, that are real athletes, enjoy the fake athlete. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Those guys are
real athlete,
athletic,
but fake
Yeah, fake
product.
sport.
They enjoy
They're very athletic.
scripted
Those
drama.
guys obviously are very much in shape, and they have to be athletic to make it look real.
Right.
By the way, they're sitting front row. Cameras are always on them. I'm sure they're not paying for a damn
No,
drink.
they're
Yeah,
very-
but like,
that
why
is
would you
coming
bother
their way.
going all the way up to New York just to go see fake wrestling? But I appreciate the athleticism and the skill that it takes.
I
to
like
make
that you mention that, but it's scripted.
It's just funny
drama.
to me, yeah.
Right.
But to your point, yeah, you have that conversation because you're.
All right,
just-
so I'm not being no fun police.
No,
you can
you're
go.
not.
You just don't need to participate.
Yeah, I listen, it's fair. Guys are going to be guys, right? You know, I got asked to leave the wedding after party kind of firmly because we did an Oklahoma drill and I almost put the groom out the window. So, what, Amy?
Were you drunk?
Yeah, John, it was after a wedding.
Okay.
Come on.
Well,
But-
The more problematic thing would be sober Oklahoma drill at a wedding.
Exactly.
So optically, not great. And I understand the
like-
bride being mad at me.
Like,
but-
let's forget that it's a New York Giant Cam Scadaboo. God forbid Lane Johnson needs surgery on the Liz Frank injury, and we see him,
Lane wouldn't be doing nonsense like that.
in a fake altercation. But we're probably going, yo, dude, take care of that ankle, please.
Yeah, it's a bad look. You shouldn't have done it. I'm sure he's fine, but if you're management, you
the
complain about
optics
that.
of it. You can't.
By,
I
the,
think that's
by the
part
way,
of it.
the story too, just real quickly. What about all the stuff on Abdul Carter?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
late,
yeah.
late for numerous meetings.
That's disappointing.
And then
I'm a big fan
oversleep.
of his.
Was sleeping, and I
But
was
don't
too.
you think? I don't know. Part of there's no way he did that at Penn State. I just don't think that would have flown under James Franklin. But part of me wonders: is this a chicken or the egg? Is it the Giants organization that
Sure.
breeds some of this kind of because it's
Laissez-faire.
Yeah, Abdul Carter's not the first Giant in the last 10 years that you've heard like maybe
Yeah.
doesn't care as much.
Or he's not the first Giant that if he were to leave, he'd be great, like Saquon Barkley or Daniel Jones.
Well, but the difference is Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones had moments where they
Right.
were thinking Abdul Carter's been a really abject disappointment at the
So
NFL
far
level
for him,
so
yeah.
far.
So far, it
He's
is
got
hard
it.
to judge
Yeah.
because it's a
He's on a good defensive front, Amy.
a decent defensive front.
I like Burns a lot.
I like Burns a lot.
I'm putting it in the top. I think they're top 10 or 12, honestly. I really do.
12's the top half of the league almost.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're good, and he should be better than that.
All right.
You should just show up on time.
Yeah, show
You're
up.
a rookie.
Exactly.
Show up on time. That's it.
You know
Not a
who
lot to
showed
ask.
up yesterday? Paul George
He
showed
sure
up
did.
yesterday, Amy. I said it earlier. It was the quietest return of a max contract player ever. Now, look, he played 21 minutes.
Locally, I feel like everybody else nationally was like, Paul George is back. And we're all like, Paul George is back? Oh, all right, cool.
Was it?
I mean, you saw it on like NBA.
I know Shams tweeted
NBA
about
Countdown had it on. And,
all right, fair enough. What did you make of his return yesterday from an actual basketball standpoint, all jokes aside?
I like that he was aggressive from the jump. I think you worry a little bit about when a guy hasn't played basketball in 289 days, March 4th, that he's going to be a little reticent. I don't know, I'm going to let the game come to me. I mean, he took a three-pointer from the jump, and we're like, all right, we're back and running.
Yeah.
The numbers, to me, I'm not going to look at as much because he only played 21 minutes.
Sure.
I know, but I like the fact that in those 20 minutes, he put up 9 shots. Stuff like that. That he went to the free throw line 7 times. That was second most on the team behind Tyrese Maxey, who played 40 minutes. So I feel like that, to me, showing that. Again, exactly. He leads the league. One, Paul George is going to get the calls. He's a veteran. You're going to get calls. So he knows that. So he's going to drive in the lane, try to create that contact. That's the kind of play that when you're looking at difference makers down the stretch of the season, not right now, things like that are going to go in your best interest. Veteran guys are going to get the call. We all joke about like Tyrese Maxey.
Except for James Harden, apparently.
Listen, James Harden was hunting that call earlier, and I think refs are like, we gave it to you earlier.
Yeah,
I mean, that was obviously he got fouled.
When Quinn Grimes is grabbing his elbow.
I love Allah's like, he got a little contact.
A little contact.
I love Allah. I love him so much. But yeah, he obviously got fouled, and that's fine. And he didn't call it. You know how I didn't know it wasn't a foul? It's because it wasn't called a foul.
Yes.
2-minute report I haven't seen this morning, but that whole last 2 minutes is going to be pretty amazing.
I would imagine so.
But I think, for what I was expecting, I thought he looked better than what I was expecting. I saw aggressiveness. I saw a nod. I don't know. I guess it was just I wanted to see him go with the pace. I thought he was pacey. He was running up and down. I mean, this guy has a surgically repaired knee and has had a couple of procedures on that knee at this point. They wanted to make sure it was strong enough, so I thought that was really good. And I thought drawing the contact for the fouls was really good. So overall, I was like, all right, that was a pretty good. And I look forward to. I don't know what the back-to-back situation is going to be for him if he's on this minutes restriction. Is it 20 minutes and 20 minutes, or is it we're going to try to go a little bit more on one and then not on the other? So
how much are you enjoying talking about a legitimate team?
It's fun to talk about a team with 8 wins.
A fun team to watch, and there's new storylines. And catching some of your work, you guys, I think, are enjoying talking about different storylines and new players and new mix. And
it's just the pace of that they play is obviously a lot of fun. VJ Edgecombe is a lot of fun. Quentin Grimes was a big question mark, not the fact that we knew he could play, but what was he going to look like on this team with Tyrese Maxey? And he has, been one of their. If it's not him, it's close to being him. Every night he's their second leading scorer behind Maxey. And a guy for the 6-man role, that's massive in that second unit. And he always closes games out. He plays starter minutes. He's always plays almost the entire fourth quarter, every single game. That says a lot. Defensively, they try to double James Harden the first quarter. James Harden had 17 points in the first quarter. The double team did not work. So after halftime, they're like, you know what we're going to do? Quentin Grimes, mano-y-mano.
Yeah.
And he locked him down. 11 points for James Harden in quarters 2, 3, and 4 combined. Didn't hit a single three after the first quarter. To me, stuff like that is so interesting to talk about because last year they started 2-12.
All right, trivia question.
2-12.
Sixers won their 8th game of the season on November 17th of 2025. What date did they win their 8th game of the season last year?
Get close to this. Amy will probably get within 5 days.
But this was the conversation we were having last year because who was going to win more by the end of the year? Was it the Eagles or the Sixers?
Correct.
Right.
Because as I mentioned, they started 2-12. But the Sixers did get there. I'm going to say December 10th.
John?
I'm going to say December 20th.
Connor?
I'll go Christmas.
John Kincade, ding, ding. Well, you're the winner. You're the closest. You did go over, though. December 16th.
Well, the Price is Right. I lose.
They won their 8th game, and they won back-to-back games.
Yeah, there was a little spark, and we thought, wow.
You know why they won back-to-back games? They played the Hornets in both of them.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
They did a home and road against the Hornets. Hornets back-to-back.
I like the fact is that 13 games in, it's an entertaining product to watch. It's a more exciting brand of basketball.
They actually have people that play basketball healthy on the court.
And all they do is talk about the Knicks on any of the broadcast or whatever, and they have the same record as the Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Knicks looks different.
Yeah.
The Knicks team looks different.
I get you. On paper
It's
or
New
in
York.
real?
Both.
Yeah, they're not clicking yet. I just like it.
You also
very
know
excited.
that they are healthy and can stay healthy.
Yeah, it's like the Colts being mad the Eagles are getting so much national play.
Right.
Oh, well, you're in Indianapolis. Okay, that's it.
All right.
That's all you get.
Coming up next, I do want to ask Amy about Tyrese Maxey, who's been spectacular this year. But also, Cowboys had a big night on offense yesterday. How much does Vegas respect them for Sunday's game against the Eagles? We'll tell you next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, Amy, I'm going to throw a couple things your way here before we talk about Tyrese Maxey and before I give you the line for Eagles-Cowboys after the Cowboys had their big night on offense yesterday. We're going to do this on post-show headlines, Johnny, so you can start using your brain here a little bit now.
Don't ask me.
So Connor saying he's never been to the Palestra is still, I'm still astonished.
What do you want me to go during the show?
I want you to go.
I want you to go, period, because our show ends at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And so when our show's done at 10 a.m., there's plenty of games to choose from. I've already narrowed down the game. January 24th, Nerds versus Nerds, Penn versus Yale, 2 o'clock tip-off. That's the game that we are going to attend. What are other must-attend locations in the city of Philadelphia?
You mean sporting events or just otherwise?
Like Reading Terminal Market, the fact that he's only been there twice is incredible to me.
The Philadelphia Museum of Art.
Yeah.
Never
to
been.
me that's so incredible. Connor, I'm telling
free.
you.
You walk in.
Connor, I'm telling you this. You're a single man. They have these nights where they open up the art museum and they literally do cocktails and things. And I'm telling you, the beautiful women that you will see at the Philadelphia Museum dressed, put on one of your good suits.
Date experience.
Date experience.
And I'm telling you, it's great. You will love it.
I don't go on dates. Married to the game.
You'll meet.
What game?
Well, no, you're not. If you've never been to if you've never been to the Palestra, you can't make that claim.
Is there anything else come to your mind, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's things that you need to experience in order to fully tell people. So when people say like, "Oh, you live in Philadelphia, you're from Philadelphia," then they expect like follow-ups, right?
Yeah.
You need to be able to tell them certain things about whatever. I think having a run on Kelly Drive is something very, very important.
That's
I
a
think
great Boathouse Row area.
Yeah, just drive, like walking, running, riding your bike right down that area. I think is very, very scenic. That's something that's very experiencing. Like check off Philadelphia right there. You got to, if you haven't seen the Liberty Bell, you're right next to it.
The historic
Literally,
district.
you've probably driven by it.
Liberty Bell.
I have been.
Did
On
you go
your own or
or was it a school trip?
No, I've done both. Well, not by myself, but I've gone in the building.
How about the oldest family-owned restaurant in America, Ralph's?
Eating at Ralph's, yes.
How about
Okay,
the
eating
oldest
at
zoo
Ralph's.
in America?
Philadelphia Zoo? Been
Yes.
many times.
Okay,
And it's
all
the
right,
first,
there we
and
go.
it's
I
the
like
first
animals.
zoo. Every other zoo copied the Philadelphia Zoo.
Damn right.
Well,
we were
that's
the
how-
first ones to have it.
Yeah, I feel like there's
True
a couple
capital of
different
America.
things. A lot of them you've already done. Obviously, a sporting event in Philadelphia. I got to take my nephew to an Eagles game. That is a rite of passage for certain people.
How
There's,
old was your nephew when you took him first time?
This was this year. He's 20.
Okay. Oh, 20.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I took
He's
Liv.
a Giants fan.
I
which is
waited
great.
till
We took him to the
6th grade
Giants
for
game.
Liv.
We took Shawnee a little early because
But you had club seats, didn't you?
No, for Shawnee. No.
Oh, no. Okay, good.
But we had good seats.
You
'cause
wanted
we
him to
thought,
get the real
We thought we were not up top.
Yeah.
Sean was a longtime season ticket holder at the Vet up in the 700 level, so he was. But no, the nicer seats were a little bit better. But I think that there's certain things in Philadelphia you need to experience. I think the Italian market is another thing.
Yeah,
I think
it's awesome.
anywhere in the South Philadelphia
Walk through
area,
it.
just talk to people and be around people. I think is the best part of experiencing.
Have you driven by the zoo lately?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
morning.
Have you seen the Ferris wheel?
No.
There's an 11-story Ferris
Is
wheel.
it part of the Illuminature?
I have no
The
idea if they're
holiday
doing
lights
this.
and
I
everything,
have
yeah.
no. It's an 11-story
How about
Ferris
that?
wheel. I said, when did the zoo get
Did
a
it,
Ferris
did it
wheel?
replace the hot air balloon?
It may have, but this
The
is
Channel 6.
But we're talking about a Ferris wheel that is gigantic.
We're
At
gonna
the
have
zoo
to check
now.
that out.
So you're gonna have to see. I don't know if it's new. I could just Google it. There's a machine.
All right, the other thing.
Yes.
Can you explain this to me, Aim?
Yeah.
I felt so good about life yesterday. Driving to the Palestra. So that's number one. I knew where I was going.
Yes.
I saw a pizza delivery car specifically to that pizza shop. They had the neon light, or not neon, but you know what I'm talking about. Light on top of the car. It was for this place called Pizza Tower in the Sewell area. And I felt good seeing that. With all due respect to the Uber Eats and DoorDashes,
Don't you like
Grubhubs.
Listen, I'm with you. I still saw like one that had the Domino's guy, and I'm like, look at you, Domino's guy.
Doesn't that make you feel like?
Look at you.
Make you feel what?
Oh, I don't know. Like
I don't know how to
they're
explain
still
it.
out there like doing their thing.
I love
some
I don't know.
16-year-old
Look, I love the hustle. I love the
Right?
hustle of watching.
Papa
something.
John's guy is still doing the delivery.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like when you see an old man sitting at the park feeding the ducks. It's like,
I
hey,
love
keep
that.
doing your thing,
Keep
guy.
doing that.
Right? I just looked it up. It is part of the Illuminature. It was just installed.
Oh,
so
there you
it's
go.
going to stay. I hope.
Why that I can't.
Because
it is 110 feet tall.
Oh,
Each gondola fits up to 6 people, and the ride lasts about 7 minutes.
I mean, it's
Nice.
it's massive.
110
massive.
feet will do it.
That is
I like
11 stories tall.
That was a fun thing.
All right. Tyrese Maxey. Speak on Tyrese Maxey before we get to this line for Eagles Cowboys. Is he taking that step forward that we've all been kind of waiting for? Because I said it earlier in the show. Thank God for Tyrese Maxey. They would not be 8-5 without him. Last year, I would not have said that. I don't think he was that player yet where even with all the crap that was going on, I mean, hell, I have history to back up my claim because they were, 2-12, you said?
2-12 to start the season.
Have we seen Tyrese Maxey take that leap forward to being, star player, right? Like a star player. He's averaging 33 points per game.
Yeah. If he's not tops in the league, he's always one or two, depending on what SGA is doing at the moment. But he's a tremendous player. And a lot of people be like, oh, it's because he's the only option. Well, last year he was the only option, but his shot was not there. And I think having a guy like VJ Edgecombe run alongside, having this offense be at the pace that it is, allows him to operate in a way that is absolutely beneficial to his talent. It makes everything blossom. We all knew that he was the leader, but, there was always that in the background of like, well, it's still Joel's team. Joel Embiid has said, listen, it is anybody's team.
Right.
It is our team. It is this collective team.
This
Tyrese
is our
Maxey,
team.
And Joel Embiid has always been like, a couple years ago, he's literally yelling at Tyrese in a nice way, but like, shoot it. Shoot the ball, right? He has taken that leap. And I think sometimes, this guy, he just turned 25 for Pete's sake. When you're looking at this kind of evolution of him, I think that this is exactly who he was always meant to be. I think this offense is how he should be able to run, and this is beneficial, as I mentioned, to the way that he needs to operate. I think this is who he is. I think we're seeing it. I think he has, come up to whatever the expectations were for him when everybody thought, like, gosh, yeah, he could be that guy. We've seen him score 40 points.
His efficiency's pretty impressive.
Well, that's the other thing, the efficiency.
He's not just chucking up.
Like Cade Cunningham the other day was, 18 of like 50. Yeah, they won.
The worst game for Maxey was the 31 shots and 31 points. That's like his worst.
Yeah.
And that was that Pistons game because they needed it. They really did. And unfortunately, they didn't end up winning that game. But last night, you were looking at 48% from overall. He didn't have a good shooting 3-point wise, but he's a better 3-point shooter than that. He's been closer to 38 to 39% pretty much, or 40% for his career. But no, I go back to what Jim Lynam said. This was probably 3 years ago, and he's a superstar in the making. And Jim says that with a lot of basketball knowledge, like in his background. But no, I think he's a perennial all-star. I think he's a guy that's going to be constantly in the all-star conversation, especially now they finally realize you didn't have to do it by position. That only took 20 years.
Right. That took some time. All right, Eagles line for Sunday's game is Dallas Cowboys.
I do not know.
Well, you don't know what it is? I'm surprised.
I did not look.
That's surprising.
I usually do look right away because based on last night.
Play another game then because the Cowboys rolled last night. Dak Prescott, mainly in the first half. They slowed down the second half, but Dak Prescott looked spectacular yesterday. 25 of 33, 268 yards, 4 touchdown passes. Pickens had 144 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 66 yards and a touchdown. It's interesting how you can spread the ball around.
Yeah, it's amazing. 3.5.
All right.
Birds.
Amy?
2.5 birds.
Connor?
4.5 birds.
Wow, we all put the hook on it.
Y'all should have just agreed with John Kincade. 3.5.
All right.
Okay.
The Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. The total is 49.5. Obviously, the Eagles defense gets that sort of respect. And it's not like the Eagles offense is putting up
Still might like the under
a bunch of points.
Even the way Dallas scores.
3.5, I think is fair.
Did you guys talk about BG's hat already?
Oh, I saw it.
It's tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendously well done.
Cowboy logo with the cross, the red circle and the line through
That's
it.
how you know it's Cowboys week.
Yeah, it's Cowboys.
And he did it on Monday night while they're playing.
Is that line's fair, right?
I think that's a fair line.
I think it's a fair line.
After looking what the Eagles offense did, I don't think you could think that, listen, they could blow right past it and win by a touchdown. But
did you think it was suspicious that all of a sudden Brandon Graham's back, who last year was letting stuff out of the locker room on radio shows and things like that all of a sudden now there's a lot of stuff out of the locker room?
I tinfoil capped
no.
I tinfoil.
All of a sudden,
it was already out. We already had stuff out of the locker room. The meeting that was well before Brandon Graham.
But
we all knew
now
about the meeting.
This is really amped up the last 2
I I went for a long walk yesterday, and I was like,
No, because
we have had numerous people.
Oh, no, all over our socials.
Before
I'm sure.
I even
Speculating
said it on the air, somebody tweeted in like 5 minutes into the show, and I was like,
Okay.
so I guess I
By the
can
way,
say it.
I applaud Jordan Mailata on his radio show on another station last night, the other station, saying, really? Jalen Hurts getting all this blame? And he goes, it would be really strange to blame him primarily for our problems. And also, it's really strange that someone in our own building would be leaking stuff like this out.
So that's
Which is what my point has been about this whole thing.
All right, so Brandon Graham did it last year, and he had to fall on the sword, and I'm my bad or whatever. You think that he's going to do it again, and if he is, that people are going to say stuff in front of him?
Not publicly. You can sometimes when you're a leaker, you leak privately.
I just don't think people would say stuff in front of him if they think he's that
Yeah,
guy.
I always leak privately.
I usually leak in privacy.
If you're leaking in public, you got some other issues.
I bet
That's
you,
illegal.
Connor, I know you've done that.
Woods
Hand
don't
raised,
count.
hand
Yeah,
raised,
exactly.
I've done it.
Woods don't count.
No, well, everybody's done it.
Yeah, everyone,
except
you know.
Amy. Amy's probably
You
done
got to go.
it. We've all done it. Every guy by the age of 20 has done it.
Amy, I'll save you from
probably
this.
younger
I'll
than
save you
that.
from
Thank
this
you so
topic.
much.
Thank you so much for coming in
Thanks
today.
for having me, everyone.
We appreciate you as always.
I'll be back on Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday,
On
I'm in
Middays?
with John. Yes,
Love that.
from 10 to 2.
There we go.
Are you coming to the Palestra on January 24th?
January 24th, I'll be there.
You know, as parents, we gotta plan.
By the way,
plan way ahead.
Bring everybody.
I
Let's
warned
just
you
go.
that it is the day before the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia, so everyone's going to be jonesing for something sports-wise.
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
a great thing.
So
Well, there's
Penn
also
Yale.
a Knicks Sixers game at 3.
Wow, and you don't have to worry.
I will not have to.
Hey, Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors made a donation to the AACR, and you can too. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR. I'm living proof 3 times over. Cancer research saves lives.
Damn right you are, Johnny. All right, we have Middays with Marks coming up next. Harry Mays.
He's in the building.
He's been sitting out there. He's ready to go. He's been listening to the show saying, oh, this is some good content. That
I think Harry's been picking up
bring
some
to
of
the
my
table.
really good picks to help his a little bit.
Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning on an Adam Schefter Wednesday here on 97.5 The Fanatic.